Black and platinum. I got
Ooh.
those for myself like a lot recently, but in the last few years.
Black and white
Do
was
yourself a
I'm
favor.
gonna
Do yourself a favor then. Do yourself a favor. Get Game Boy Advanced. Buy yellow, crystal, emerald.
Oh yeah, Emerald was my favourite.
Just get yellow, crystal, and emerald. Play the OGs.
All right.
So much better than the newer ones.
I remember used to playing it on Nintendo, like the actual console where you just battle it out.
Oh, Battle Stadium.
I think I'm missing someone from Roll20.
No
Yeah,
one.
I'm not there yet. I'm sitting down and.
Oh, we've got Jam.
All right.
No.
So yeah, I started up the stream, and
Come
I
on.
think we're pretty much ready to go.
Bring my
Let's
dog
see.
into the room because otherwise, as soon as I sit down, he'll want to come in.
But yeah. So
What are we on Twitch?
Huh? Did you say where?
Yeah. Well,
Oh, the links are in the Discord. If you look under streaming, it has the links for the YouTube and the Twitch. If you
Okay,
feel
I
like
can give it-
connecting to, yeah.
I can give it a bump. Why not?
Give it a bump. But I think no one, you are the scribe for this week, if that's okay.
Yeah.
And it looks like Duranu, you were the previous scribe. Do you want to
Okay.
get... That's what it says.
Yeah, because you posted the thing straight after.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I got punched in the face and knocked out, as always, because that just happens every 20 minutes. And then we went in to the slave camp, started investigating and freeing people. As we was looking around, we found a letter from a duel, who was obviously interested in magic items such as scrolls and that. Unfortunately, we made the very poor tactical decision to take prisoners, which, of course, the moral dilemma started immediately after taking those. And Toidle, one of the prisoners, complete arsehole, continually wanted to get himself killed. And then we shifted our camp because Shafe decided not to tell anyone that the position was completely and utterly compromised. And then we went and met a person whose name I forgot and didn't write down.
Oh, that was that woman we met, yeah.
Yeah, some whatever her name was. When we met her, she was all like, "You guys should meet and call a truce." To which we negotiated a truce. And now, no one has been preparing all week for the discussion points of the truce meeting that we discussed and hammered out beforehand. And we're just chilling, waiting for the truce to happen. And the meeting.
All right. Thank you for that recap. So it is currently the 19th of fall, 7 a.m. the next day. The truce that you mentioned, or at least the meeting that was going to take place.
I can't hear anybody. Just give me like 5 seconds.
Sure.
We don't.
But
We're under a truce waiting for a parlay.
yeah, so the meeting is supposed to take place tonight, I believe, at the tower. You had said,
yeah,
the tower that's still standing, the one up
Yes.
north of you. Which, by the way, I will change back
Yeah,
to the map.
the western tower.
Yeah, this one over here.
I thought it was the eastern. Oh,
No, we chose west.
Yeah.
oh, totally fine. I probably recall.
So it is morning time. basically, what's the group want to do?
Well, people were preparing their spells, so
Yep.
we should probably let them prepare their spells. And then we'll chill for the day.
Oh, I was early on roll 20. I was like 50 minutes early, so I did that.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had a week to do my ones from the level up, so I'm good.
Yeah,
Okay.
at this point, your spells should be locked in. But,
Cool.
so you're just going to wait out the day in the camp, trying to keep things quiet?
I think that's a smart thing.
Darren is just going to make himself, like, busy. Making sure this camp's, like, fortified, hidden. Make sure we've got food stockpiled. Just busy work for stuff. But other than that, just pass the day.
Alright, is anyone else doing anything during the day? So...
No, I can't think of anything
time
that I
is...
should be doing.
Okay.
Well, I would maybe go looking for some herbs or plants to refill my herbalism kit with.
How far from the camp are you going to venture?
Not very far, would stay in the vicinity.
Are you going to
Okay.
go into the mountains or into the hilly areas?
Well, it seems more likely that there would be plants in the hilly area, but again, I wouldn't go like too far to the patrol routes.
Alright, so you spend some time searching for herbs.
No.
What if I help you like avoid the patrols? Would that help?
There aren't any patrols this far south anymore because we burnt the towers, but that's something I could help with as well.
Yeah, I still don't want to be
Survival.
caught alone.
Yeah, I can go with you.
Alright,
Okay, it's a lovely.
so are you searching separately or are you staying together?
Oh, well, I'll stay with Patchwork so I can keep an eye out and like I don't know.
Yeah, I'd
I
say
know.
we should stay together. So it's that a
sense.
check?
I'll be Patchwork's bodyguard for the day. How about that?
Alright, so Shan, Patchwork, and Duranu are going out as a group,
Mm-hmm.
staying in the same vicinity. Alright, what about the rest of you? Doing anything for these first few hours? So, Patchwork, give me a check with your herbalism kit. Or
How
actually,
do I do
finding
that?
herbs is nature knowledge, so give me
It's
a...
nature. Oh, great.
Yeah.
I can do that probably.
Are you trained in nature?
Yup, I am. Let's see what
Ooh.
I get. Oh no. Yeah.
Uh,
Fuck.
So, Shan and Duranu, are you helping her?
Yes.
Yeah,
And what if I
that's
cast
the
guidance?
helping.
Guidance wouldn't help because this is like an all several hours thing, but you guys can make rolls as well because you're kind of in the vicinity with her looking around.
Sure, just
I can roll survival. I'm not trained in nature.
Sure, yeah, you can use survival.
Yeah, I don't have either of those proficiencies.
Alright, so then you probably wouldn't be of much help then.
Oh,
14.
okay. Awesome.
Give me a or a Patchwork. Give me a D8 roll and add your wisdom modifier.
That's a 10.
10. Alright, so you managed to uncover 100 gold pieces worth of rare herbs. A small grove filled with a vine that you don't usually see in these areas.
Sweet. Can you eat it?
It's not really for eating, it's more for potion craft. You can also turn it into nature components if you use alchemy. Or nature, you just need a lab.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to return to town for that.
Alright, so that was several hours. I assume afterwards you head back to camp.
Yep.
Alright, so it is now probably about afternoon, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Anything else? or just continue passing time?
I don't. Yeah, if I had something to do, I can't think of it, so I'll wait.
All right.
Make sure my blades are sharp.
Just
So,
chill with the soldiers, make sure they're all okay, that
I'll
sort of thing.
just
Morale check.
I'll
Oh,
just
those
run
guys.
around camp and look if someone needs help. And
I
then
mean, those
probably
guys.
just sit around if nobody needs help.
the
Those guys nested on their
soldiers.
own this time.
Yeah, they're in pretty good spirits. You didn't tell them you're meeting with Orcard, so they're just expecting that another attack on the Irontide base is probably going to happen. But they've had time to recover, so a lot of them are feeling better. Shock is helping keep morale high. There's there's excitement that they're going to get to go home and meet up with their families and reclaim their farmlands.
Okay.
I mean, that's the hope, right?
But generally
It's
high
Philia.
spirits.
Philia's still around, right?
Yeah, Ophelia's been mostly keeping to herself. She's been a little bit distant.
Darren is going to suggest that Philia and Shafe head back to Chaur with the one guy that didn't want to fight.
Ophelia says, I wouldn't mind that. I think you all have things under control here.
Mm-hmm. That we do. And,
Shaith says, well, does Ophelia know how to get back to Chaur from here? Because I sure don't.
right, you go that way, and then I'm just going to give them directions back to Chaur.
So you want me to walk 3 days to the southeast and hope I find it?
Pretty much.
I don't know if that's a good idea. That's how you get lost.
Or eaten by wolves.
No, they won't eat them.
We have a truce with the wolves.
Oh, is that right?
Well, you don't have a truce with the wolves to the southeast now, do you? But Shaith makes a good point. I don't think we should go alone. Neither of us know how to navigate the lands.
Hmm.
And she lowers her
Then you
voice. She
can-
says, plus, it's just one soldier. He can wait. It's a big risk for one guy.
I don't know if we've met before. Who is this? Flea?
Old PC, who she stepped out of the
Oh.
game, so I'm controlling now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you don't look like you to be an outdoorsy person yourself. You should probably stick close by where we can keep an eye on you.
Well, at least not in this part of the world. I come from the oceans. I was a pirate on the high seas in my past, and with a ship, navigation is a lot different.
Yeah, better to trust the old landlubbers to keep you safe this time, huh?
She says, it's been working for me so far. Though, once I get back to Chaur, I think I might have to go my own way. She says, you all seem pretty, like you're doing pretty well. And the Deep One has asked for my service, so I was thinking I might make a departure once we head back.
Well, I feel like I just met you. What a shame.
She says, I've been a bit quiet. Apologize, it's a bit rude of me.
I don't suppose you can do anything to help us out in this next fight. If there is one. I don't know if there's going to be one yet.
She says, I've been fighting as best I could, or as best I can. I've been helping with a lot of the strikes against the towers, as well as helping defend the men.
Hmm. Well, I suppose that'll have to do. I guess if you just stay in the rear with the gear, that would be good enough for me.
She nods. She says, that was my plan for the time being. Though, if you do decide on some kind of attack on the tower again, maybe I'll help with that.
That does remind me, though, guys. What were you guys wanting to negotiate with the Irontide about? Are you,
No,
You
no,
just say it immediately in your
maybe
head.
not.
Shut the fuck up. Just
She,
straight into
Maybe
your head. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that a secret?
So, Yeah, so that was something the group is keeping from the soldiers in Philia. But I would assume you would take them aside and talk in private.
I didn't know. I didn't know that was a secret. I don't know if Shan knew that was a secret either. But
It
sure.
kills
Yeah,
the
we'll
morale of
go.
the men.
We'll go aside and talk about it.
It kills the morale of the men if you start talking about truces and negotiation in front of them.
Is that true? Which one of us was the soldier, Daranu? Or was that Quentin? I'm sorry.
No, Darren.
Yeah.
Duranu, I don't think he's much of a soldier. He's more of a ranger type, living
No.
off the land. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah,
Does
no.
he have a
Could be like
military
which of us.
background?
He's parroting fucking shock. Fuck it. He's parroting shock. So, no,
Shock
I
is,
might not be much of a soldier, but, you know, at least I've stayed true to my own.
yeah, Shock has been
Oh.
just kind of quiet listening.
Was that like a shot fired?
I don't think nobody else knows. This is just into your head.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he, I believe Duranu was using telepathy.
Oh, like all the time? I didn't know that.
No, not all the time. Just
Just right now.
Just right now, with the telling you not to say that out loud thing.
Okay, well I'm gonna like pull
So,
the group aside, I guess, and then ask the question.
so
What
Ophelia
exactly?
would because you did say it to her, she would look at you a little funny. She would say, "What are you talking about?"
Hey, Philia, would you like come with me and I'll talk to you, and Quentin will take Philia off and explain to her what they're planning to do.
if the group is going to talk, then we can just sidebar with the entire group.
Alright, so yeah, you kind of go off to the side away from the soldiers. Shock knows already, and so does Shaith. Ophelia didn't know, though. Alright,
No.
I
so...
feel like Quentin would have told Philia like privately to the side if she was still there, considering like how them two are.
Alright, well, I'll say you could tell her now. But what about the rest of you? What are you doing if you go off to the side?
Shan,
I want to. Oh, okay, yeah.
do you have any healing abilities?
Actually, no.
Okay. I'm gonna pass over 2 health potions to you.
Oh, sweet, yeah.
Are
So
those from
into
your inventory or from the group?
That's from my inventory. I currently have all of the health potions.
You do, but they are also in the party treasury.
Alright, so if they're in her inventory, go ahead and delete them from the party treasury.
Sure.
Just because we don't want to have
Is it-
duplicates.
Is it a potion
Yeah.
of healing just straight?
Yeah. 2 potions of healing, and also I have a potion of force resistance. I'm gonna give that to Daranu.
Okay.
Okay.
So go ahead and record that on your sheet.
Okay.
Oh, what was
What?
that?
Sorry, that was the wife.
Oh, okay. So also real quick,
Dick.
I don't know if you saw, but there's a new party treasury tab, which you can use to organize stuff a little bit.
I would agree to that, but
Just whenever you get a chance, if you want to look it over. But it'll, if you put the weight in, it'll total the weights. It'll get the weights of the coin totals. So
yeah, Ours already does that.
oh, okay. Well, you can use either one, but let's see.
Probably stick with Ice for now because
And
it's just one sheet.
Okay.
I also want to mention patchwork. I don't know if you want this or not. It's the small figurine of the griffin. If you say a magic word, it'll turn into a griffin. I personally think that I would really have a lot of use for it, but I know that you were the one that found it, so I'm offering it to you first.
Well, I wouldn't mind having it. I've gotten myself in quite some situations in the last few fights. So if nobody else wants it, yeah, sure.
Well, I definitely want it,
Hey, maybe you guys should rock, paper, scissors for it.
but I'm offering it to you because player to player, I don't want to be a dick.
Yeah. Well, if you're sure, and I'm gonna take it.
I'll
Alright.
send it to you. I'll send you what it does.
Yeah, didn't I? Oh,
you
that's.
you sent it to me.
I'll just reveal it to the group. Hang on, because there should
Okay.
be a little note for it anyway.
Yeah, I googled it, so I know what it does.
Metagaming,
Thanks.
terrible.
Well, afterwards.
I'm
Afterwards.
joking. I'm purely joking. I knew what it was before we even identified it.
Oh. I'm sometimes
Big
bad
wonder.
at telling when someone is sarcastic.
Apologies. If it's coming out of
It's
my
okay.
mouth, it's sarcastic.
It's hard to tell when it's in another language. But yeah,
If
no.
it's me talking, it's always sarcastic.
I mean, no one wants it, but like I said,
Awesome.
I don't want to be a dick and hoard all the magic items.
Patchwork, keep
Well,
it. Piss her
it
off.
sounds like Patchwork wants it, so you gave it to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
ahead and that's the description. Go ahead and add it to your inventory, Patchwork, and make sure you take it out of yours, Karen.
Yeah.
Do I just put it under?
If you look for it in the compendium, you
item?
could click and drag it into your sheet, and it'll just add it. So you just look up basically a bronze griffin figurine there in the compendium, and then you click and drag it onto your sheet. And that should just add it to your sheet. Let me know if you have any issues with that.
Karen's got enough of our magic items, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know what I just did, but it didn't do anything.
Is your sheet open?
Wait, I'm gonna try it again. Yeah, now it worked. Okay.
You got it? Good.
I still didn't find where the wish list is.
Your wish list is recorded under the party section on the Discord.
Oh, okay.
So you
Okay,
can
yeah.
put it there. It's supposed to go with your
thought
character
it was
description.
here.
No, you just did you? I think you made one already, didn't you? Or at least you made a character.
Oh, I had
She made the
ideas for
character
2
sheet,
items.
she hasn't- Yeah.
Let's see. Are you in there now? Or maybe
I
not.
didn't write it in Discord because I didn't know.
Yeah. So in the you see under Heroes of Char, there's like a party section for Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm scrolling up to my.
Yes.
Hold on.
So you just want to make sure you put a picture, like a small story about the character, and then a wish list.
No, I put my character in there. I just didn't make a wish list.
Did you? I don't see it there.
Yeah, she's in there because we saw it earlier because we liked the picture, but the Patchwork's checked and a better. Well,
Oh, I forgot what items it was.
Why am I not seeing her? Oh, there she is. I found it. It's just the one post. Okay. So yeah. So you give Patchwork the bronze figurine of the griffin, and anything else.
Could I possibly get the cleansing stone from Philia?
Let me take a look.
So no one can hoard more of our magic items.
Philia is okay. So if you ask her, she says, "The cleansing stone has been very useful to me to keep myself clean after my work. Why do you need it?"
Because I spent 3 days in a hobgoblin camp and I smell like musty soldier.
Well, I can certainly lend it to you, but as long as you agree to give it back.
Sure. I will make a deception check.
I mean, she can sit here and watch you use it and then just take it back from you.
Oh. Alright.
It doesn't take that long to use. At least I don't think it does. Here, let me look at the cleaning stone.
I don't know what it does.
Where is it?
Oh no, I lost it.
Oh, there it is. Cleaning stone. Yeah, I think it just takes an action and it basically...
Alright, well either way I'll use it and I'll give it back.
Alright, now I'm trying to... Wasn't it called a cleaning stone?
Cleansing stone.
Cleansing, maybe. Okay, that's what it... Cleansing, there it is. Okay.
Why didn't we do that days ago? You stank for ages.
Shut up, Mr. I smell like honey.
Oh, do I smell like honey? Smell myself.
Well,
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
basically,
That's the kind of
you just activate
It
it
is
and...
massive. It's a massive thing. It's 1 foot in diameter. Holy crow!
Yeah, it's
well,
big
if,
stone.
if it helps you, I can't smell anything, so I didn't notice.
it's like a full-on 1 foot sphere.
So basically, you hold it, you activate it, and it's kind of like you just took a shower. It just cleanses you completely.
Oh,
Yeah.
So she would hand it to you, kind of cross her arms as she waits for you to use it, and I assume you're just going to activate it.
Yeah, I'll use it and then
Okay.
give it back.
And she nods.
Mind if I also have a go?
Not like.
I
not like I can
suppose...
slide a hand.
Yeah, he can't really sleight a hand to 1 foot diameter stone. That's pretty big.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, she passes it. Anyone else need to clean off?
No, I still smell like honey. Guess it doesn't clean that well.
Yeah, but it got all that blood and grime off of you, so now you look clean as well as smell clean.
Oh well. Guess we can solve that later.
Alright, so she takes her stone back, nodding. It definitely makes it smell a little less in here. Maybe I should give it to the others.
Please do.
Some of that
Yes.
Southern Seas magic, is it?
She says, well, I found this with the group. It wasn't mine. But they gave it to me. So I've been using it to keep myself nice and fresh. It also...
I don't get magic at all.
Well, it's an acquired taste. When I was a pirate, I didn't have much use for it, but when the old one found me and showed me its potential, I embraced it.
That sounds ominous.
It also helps when she goes elbow deep in someone's abdomen.
That's that's an image.
She says, "Well, you need innards to do your spells sometimes, so I have a fresh collection."
I kind of wish I could have played with this player because that sounds hysterical.
Welcome to the first one who used waterboarding.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that it?
Yeah, that's
First one who tried,
don't,
yeah.
don't let Patchwork hear that. She doesn't
That's why
know.
That's why we were absolutely losing it last week when Kai suggested he was going to
He was gonna water-
people.
Apparently, it's a popular pastime in the Empire.
Or for things.
Are we still like sidebarring right now?
No.
Can do.
I mean, you all can be, but it's sort of a combination of sidebar and people interacting
Yeah.
within the camp.
I
Yeah.
also didn't want to like start handing out like magic potions and stuff in front of like the ex-slaves because we don't have enough to go around.
Yeah, they're all right. They made it this far. They can survive a little longer.
Yeah, none of them are wounded. They've all rested.
I know,
Uh,
but if I'm handing out magic items, then not everybody's gonna get one.
That's a good point. A
Oh, I
little
didn't get one.
adjustment is done.
Your freedom is the magic item. But I just wanted to ask, like, I don't know if I asked this already. I don't think I did. What are we planning to ask this guy for? Are we
Uh,
the leader of the Iron Tide?
Very simple. We're going to ask for their slaves, and
Oh.
then we're going to ask them to leave.
Well, you think he's gonna agree to that?
Well, his other option is we start attacking his hunting parties, making them either increase the size of their hunting parties so that they are no longer effective as hunting parties, or he's going to have to send out a lot of smaller hunting parties to which we can attack and wipe out one at a time, therefore starving their camp, and they will all pretty much starve to death with no access to food. That's the
Or
alternative.
Or
All
they
right, I'm game.
rebel.
What? Or what would you say, Patrick?
Or they rebel and rise up
Oh.
against him if they are too unhappy.
Yeah.
So,
DM, one question.
Yep.
Would I have seen like this kind of figurine before? Because like the scrolls were in Dwarvish. So I'm just curious if Patrick would have seen something like this, like with the dwarves, or before.
Something like what?
Like the figurine.
Oh, well, I guess you could give me an Arcana check.
Even if I'm not trained,
Oh, if you're not trained,
can
I
I
mean,
still try?
you may have. Yeah, I guess you can still roll.
At least it's not a negative one. Yeah, it's 0, so it's 11.
Yeah, I mean, you've already identified the item, but the actual Rune Masters, they did have things like this, but much larger. There's,
Wait,
I mean,
who had that?
So do you have history, actually?
No.
All right.
I
So,
do, if you want to ask me.
No, I'm trying to figure this out by myself. But I do have religion.
give me give me a religion check. So there were guardian construct type things that the dwarves sometimes employed that would start out as small figurines, and magic could be used to suddenly make them big and intimidating. This looks similar to that sort of magic, but obviously you have no idea who made this griffin.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that would be your thoughts as you're looking over this small brass figurine, which is very finely carved. The details are very impressive. What about Kai? What's Kai been up to? He's been kind of quiet.
I'm just sitting back listening because obviously I
Just kind of keeping an eye on things.
yeah, essentially because being a hermit originally and then enslaved.
Yeah,
He's
go ahead.
He's just getting used to his newfound freedom, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe a little bit new to being around a bunch of people.
Yeah, essentially because he hasn't had social interaction for a very long time.
All right. Well, if no one else is doing anything, the day would pass. No patrols seem to come down here, so that makes it a lot easier. It's getting late. Probably.
Do Daranu and I have enough time to spend another day teaching you Goblin?
Yes, you can put a day towards that if you want. You also, there's downtime projects now in the Heroes of Chaur information, so you can record it there. Like the, basically
okay, I've been
the...
recording it on my sheet. But...
Yeah, so that might be an easier place just to keep an eye on it, because I know the sheet is, it's harder to, like, search for things and there's less room on it, so if you put it under the planned activity and just put how many completed days you have towards it.
And if anyone would like to come to the School of Languages that is Daranu, feel free.
But yeah, so you spend the
mean-
day teaching.
I know don't shoot in Goblin. Yay.
That's all
Yeah.
you need.
That would be the first thing I tell everyone. I
And-
teach everyone, and then given Karen,
And you slept with my brother, but I don't know if I can use that. Because how would Patchwork have a brother?
yeah. No, I was just about to say, given like Krish's interactions with people, those would be the first things I would tell you. Don't shoot, and you slept with my brother.
There you go.
Most useful goblin ever.
I already speak the universal language, and that is violence.
The language of murder. Alright, so the day passes. It's getting close to the planned upon meeting time of midnight. Is there anything else the group wants to do before you head out? Or are you even heading out?
So this is where we backstab Orchard and go attack their main camp whilst him and his captains are at the tower, right?
Or we try to find
Yeah,
a
let's go.
peaceful solution?
We're joking, Patrick. We're joking.
I would be down for that. I don't think there's going to be
I
a peaceful
mean-
solution, but
Arguably, it's hard to tell when you guys are joking.
It's the
No,
Or they
We
are
will go
joking
and-
so often that it's impossible to tell.
yeah, we'll go and negotiate a peaceful solution.
Alright.
Are you ready, Karen?
Mm-hmm. Oh, is someone gonna cast enhance ability on me?
Eagle Splendor.
When we
Within
get
an
there.
hour of the meeting.
I
Like, when we
Don't
get
Give me
there.
advantage on charisma checks.
Yeah, I'll do it, but when we get there, like close to the time, 'cause it only lasts for an hour.
can do bless.
Bless only lasts a minute.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
It's
no.
concentration, it's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'll talk to you in your head, Karen, as you negotiate if you need me to.
Okay. I will spend. Excuse me. Once we kind of get closer, I will spend some time to do comprehend languages to be able to understand what they're saying.
Alright, so you're
Oh, well.
traveling over the hills.
oh, there you go. You can cast that. Why bother learning the language the hard way?
Because I can't speak it. I can understand it.
Ah,
I have a spell that can help you both understand and speak it, but I don't have it prepared.
Well, you
What
know
spell
that
is
the hobgoblins seem to be bilingual. In fact, a lot of them also speak Orcish, but you'd guess that Orchard speaks Common. In fact, I think he has spoken to you in Common.
Karen knows he speaks Common.
Yeah.
It's for her to speak Common over
Yep.
speaking Orcish, so.
But the rest of us doesn't understand
No, we don't know that.
Goblin.
And I like knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
That's
no,
true.
That's it. It's not a problem. If they start speaking any other language, I will start translating.
Well, let's go to this picnic then.
I
Alright.
don't
Nah,
think you speak. I don't think you speak Orcish though, Daranu.
Don't point out the one hole in my languages.
Alright.
That's what I'm here
Don't
for.
speak English yet.
So, you're getting close to the camp now, or to the, to the tower. As you are approaching, is there anything else you want to talk about as you were walking? I don't need to hurry you if you want to have longer conversation.
Did we
Yeah,
bring the
one
prisoners
thing.
with us?
Yes.
Karen.
Yeah, we would have brought the prisoners with us.
Yeah.
Prisoners are coming with
as
us.
we're-
You're casting Eagle Splendor when we get close.
If
Josh
we're-
watching soldiers. Sorry, go ahead, Patchwork.
If when we're almost there, I would cast detect poison and disease, so I can detect any poison within like a radius of 30 feet
Alright.
of me.
Go ahead and link the spells you're casting when you get close, and make sure you minus the spell slots.
No, it
Hey,
happened automatically.
Okay.
hey Raven, since I can just cast False Life at will, can I just say I have the max?
How long does that last?
It lasts an hour. So, I mean, it's like as soon as I get close, I guess.
Yeah, sure, you cast it a few times. Anything else? So, false
How
life.
close How close to them turning up is it now? Like, what's the time? How close time-wise?
Till, what do you mean?
Orcard and them. How
Oh,
close
well,
is Orcard?
you're assuming they're going to be there when you get to the tower. You haven't gotten there yet. That's why I
Oh,
asked if
no.
you're...
I wanted to get there before them,
Oh, when did you want to get there?
like half an hour before the meeting time.
Oh, all right. So if that's the case, so they would not be there yet if you get there at 11:30.
So I would instead cast the spell like shortly before the meeting time.
Okay, so like what, 10 minutes before?
Well, the spell is 10 minutes with concentration, so like maybe 5 minutes before.
Like,
Hoping
frankly,
they...
at work, they're bringing food. They know we don't trust them. Cast it at the table.
But I want to be sure, and it's
Yes,
too late
no,
now.
Just cast it at the table.
Aren't you the ones that demanded they bring food?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we want to make sure they're not trying to poison
Someone
us.
said it as a joke and they took it seriously.
No,
Yeah.
Downey didn't say it as a joke. Downey wanted
That
to
wasn't
bring
a
food.
joke.
That was
No,
okay.
Downey
I
was-
seriously
I
can't
thought it
tell
was-
with you guys.
Yeah, I thought that was a joke too. That's funny.
No,
Alright.
Downey wants them to bring food because that's the next resource he's going to attack. So getting them to bring some food is just a demonstration of like with us controlling their supplies. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Honestly,
You can
about
just-
being nice and they won't poison it, and if they are trying to kill us, then they'll poison the food anyway. So
Alright, so
I'm
you
just not gonna
cast...
eat it. I'm the safe side.
Yeah, I would cast it a few minutes before the time to be polite.
And someone's casting Eagle Splendor.
yeah, but that'll be like just before. Well, when I see them coming, like when I see Torch and them coming, I'd cast it on.
Alright.
Yeah, no, I will. I'll cast comprehend languages as a ritual, kind of like 20 minutes before, so that 10 minutes, before they arrive, I'm done.
Okay. Duranu, no. Quentin, what is your passive perception?
22.
Okay.
No, it's 23. It went up. It's 23 now because we left.
It is.
So, in darkness, it would be 18. And do you have dark vision?
Yes.
Okay, so it'd be 18 in dark vision. Yeah, you would hear someone approaching at about 10:05, or sorry, 12:05.
They're late.
They
I'm gonna
are
cast
a
it
little
on
late.
the Eagle Splendor.
We have
I rolled that they're slightly late.
That's fine.
we have like lights and stuff, right?
Yeah, you can
They
have.
wanted to meet in the dark.
Yeah, I
Don't
mean,
want to light it up too much.
yeah, they don't have any light sources, but if you want to have them out, that's fine.
Well, I am kind of a light source, so
Well, I want at least my my lantern lit.
Okay, sure. You have your lantern out.
Right.
So
If I can, I'm going to hide as best I can because they haven't seen me. So
yeah, I will cover like the glowing thing on my chest, but you can still see my eyes.
yeah. So the group of the war party approaches. There are 6 of them. Orcard, at least Karen, you would recognize.
Mm-hmm.
He would doesn't have his sword drawn right now. None of them have their weapons out. With him,
They
you
were
would.
on though. I assume they all do have visibly have weapons. on
Yes.
them.
So Orcard has actually Karen. You would recognize his weapon. And I may have told you this before, but he has a strangely styled sword. It would basically be a katana blade.
Fun.
That you probably, with history, know comes from the Taswanese lands of a long time ago. Old Empire stuff. With him, there is Erdul.
I mean, we gotta kill him now, right?
No.
His spellcaster.
Sorry. That was the joke.
And 4 what look like captains as well. So he kind of walks towards the group, Well, actually, sorry, there are 5 of them, not 6. There's those 2 and 3 captains. So he walks
Yeah.
towards the group, kind of looks you all over, and says, "So, you're the ones who've been killing all my men."
That we have been.
He says, "You seem fairly well armed. A mercenary group, I assume."
No, citizens of Chaur.
He says, "Quite powerful citizens."
Hmm.
He says, "Thank you for
Oh.
meeting with me. I'm glad we could meet under a banner of truce."
Yes. Wow. Otherwise, how else would you negotiate your surrender?
Indeed.
Hey,
He says, "So, tell me, why are you here? Did Blackwater send you?"
No, actually, we came in order to retrieve something for someone else. To be perfectly honest,
He says,
And-
"Would it happen to be a dagger?"
something like that. Yes. But we were also concerned about the well-being of Char, and what your intentions are for that city. Considering how many of your mercenaries were sent to raid and pillage from
Is-
their farmland.
Well, being that I haven't received any missives from my captain I sent down there, I'm assuming you already took care of him.
I'll hand him Greaves' insignia.
He takes it and
Yes.
nods. He says, well, if Blackwater didn't send you for the dagger, then I assume it was the elf bitch. Am I correct?"
Possibly.
Matters not.
Doesn't truly matter, to be perfectly honest.
He says, "It does, as I have a bone to pick with those 2.
Really.
He nods.
Now why don't you enlighten us?
He looks to Erdul and he says, "Before we speak too much, do you have any enchantments on you?"
Yes.
He says, "Could you please remove them? I wish us to speak
No.
fairly on even ground."
well, I am an enchantment if you're technical.
I do currently have an enchantment going that allows me to understand your language in hopes of better communication. I hope you don't mind that I hang on to that.
Quite
He says,
frankly, we don't.
And I hope you don't mind me staying sentient.
He says, "No, I don't mind that. I'm talking about charms. Any type of magic that would enhance your ability to negotiate."
No, I don't believe we have any. I mean, do you have any charms on you currently?
He says, "No, I don't believe in using magic to enhance my ability to negotiate. And I ask that people I speak to not use it as well."
And yet you brought your wizard. And yet you brought your wizard with you.
He says, "If things go poorly, you need to have magic to defend yourself." And Erdul just kind of nods.
I
Well,
didn't
you
realize
just laughed
that
a
you were.
little.
I didn't realize you were expecting things to go poorly.
He says, "Only a fool will assume things go to plan." In any case, do you agree to speak with me on equal terms? No enchantments or charms.
Well, beyond
we
the
will-
ones that we've mentioned.
He says, "We will use none either. And as for language, as you can see, I can speak your tongue pretty well, actually. So, but
Yeah, he's alright.
Your pronunciation's a little off.
Well, I mean,
I think you should do it, Karen.
I would. Please don't interrupt me. I do believe it. I do believe it a sign of, mutual understanding that I went through the effort of, casting this very laborious spell for you.
he says, "Then I assume you wouldn't mind Erdul using his magic to check you for enchantments."
There'll be no more casting of spells here.
As I said, I have a spell that allows me to understand languages.
Give me a persuasion check. And he says, if that's all you have, then you wouldn't mind him verifying that.
Remember, you get
We
that
do not trust
advantage
him to
anyway.
cast. We don't trust him to cast a spell here.
But you'll be able to tell if it's like an attack spell or if he. I don't actually. I think
Yeah,
he was just
I'm just
like
gonna sort
detect
of.
magic, right? He
I'm just
wasn't
gonna
like,
say into
cast it.
Shan's head. Just gonna say into Shan's head. Whose side are you on?
I'm interested in like actually getting to the negotiations.
So he looks to Erdul, who will begin casting a spell. Are you going to do anything?
No.
Alright, so he casts his spell, his eyes glowing for a moment. He would say, you have 2 spells upon you. Because you have two things, right?
Currently, yes.
Which, one is a transmutation. Comprehend languages. What's that? I don't see it on the log here. Did you cast that?
I cast it as a ritual.
Oh, yeah, you should still link it.
Sorry.
Comprehend languages is divination.
Divination. Okay, so yeah, he would say you have 2 spells upon you. One is a transmutation, the other is a divination. I assume one of them is enhance ability.
Actually, I have a very interesting spell currently on me that allows me to change my form.
Give me a deception check.
With advantage.
True.
I know.
Yeah.
Deception.
So Erdul will say, do you need to shapeshift to be able to negotiate?
I don't. However, it is one that is quite difficult to remove I hope you understand. I do give you my word that I will not use this ability during our conversation.
Orcard sighs. He says, all right, I suppose I'd rather just get this over with. He says, so what are your terms for what you want?
Well, first of all, we just want to apologize for, all of the, death and destruction that has been met
He
on
says,
our part.
there's no need
from
to
these last
apologize. He says,
few
the
months.
war is war. We were enemies on the field. If I had killed your people, then so be it. You showed that you were very skilled tacticians, and you have been winning this conflict because of it. There's no need to apologize to me for that.
You flatter me. Well, I suppose, what we truly want is an end to this war. And I imagine you do as well. I suppose we are just requesting that perhaps, you return home.
He says, you wish us to leave this place.
Yes.
Anything else?
Well, as a courtesy to you, we understand that it's quite a travel to the Nazak Empire. So, and, winter's coming. Quite a ways off, but, it's still coming. You have a lot of mouths to feed. So, we are willing to unburden you of your slaves and as a generous courtesy, we will be offering about 5 silver pieces a head.
Says, really, you wish to unburden me of my slaves. How generous of you, he says, obviously in a sarcastic tone. He says, we have food enough to feed our slaves and our troops to get back. But we won't be leaving just yet, as we still need to recoup our losses from the lies and treachery of the citizens of Chaur, the ones who brought us here in the first place. He growls.
Darren growls back.
We would be more than happy to give you about a week's time in order to regather your forces.
He looks at you, scratching his chin a little. Give me a persuasion check.
Fuck!
Well,
Well,
oh,
you know, that 1 in 400.
well,
He says,
sort of request.
Really? Now?
I mean, 10 isn't bad. 10 is like an average roll.
Yeah,
I think
but
it's
2 and 1.
true.
Even with advantage, that's still in.
Aaron isn't average, okay?
Yeah, well, that's why he rolled terrible and still did okay. So he considers things for a moment. He says, so was it the elf who sent you here? If it wasn't Blackwater.
No one sent us.
In the interest of transparency, we are working adjacent to the Blood Hand. Yes.
He says the criminal organization. So you're mercenaries.
We consider ourselves more helpers. You know, well, as I said, while we are not working necessarily with the Blood Hands, however, we are working towards a similar goal, which includes protecting the well-being of the civilians of Chaur, and not necessarily those who had dealings with you.
So you don't care if you get the dagger. You're just looking for the freedom of the slaves and our departure.
Well, we would actually really like the dagger, and for that price, we would be willing to, let's say, use the sharp end against a certain noble in Chaur.
Really? What's your gripe with Blackwater? He now seems much more interested.
He's the reason you're here.
He says, just that, the fact that he brought us here?
He brought
Betrayed
you
his
here,
word.
and
He brought this trouble upon Chaur.
he brought this trouble on Chaur, and truly hasn't really done anything in order to help end it. You know, he's covered his own ass, and we find that despicable.
Is that he has. He's been most deceptive in his dealings with us as well. I assume the woman, what's her name? Urdul says, I believe it was Sithril. Yes. I assume Sithril told you more about why we're here?
We got her side of the story, but, I would certainly be interested in hearing yours.
He says, I will just say that Blackwater promised something and then did not deliver. So we were forced to compensate ourselves through other means. He says, did he tell you of the vault that he seeks?
Blackwater did not tell us that, no.
He says, the elf was in on it too. Blackwater hired both factions. Did she mention that?
Vaguely.
Well, we were brought here to seek items of power that would open an ancient vault, somehow linked to a city of the humans past. A dagger, a necklace, and a ring, each faction possessing one. We originally came in to find the ring for Blackwater, which we did, and he was supposed to bring us to this vault afterwards to help him protect his forces and ultimately get a share of the treasure. We found him his ring, he took it, and then he went quiet and stole the necklace from us as well. Both items we had procured. He says, but we managed to get the dagger from him as it was being transported into Chaur.
Yes, we were actually in that caravan.
Oh. So then you encountered my drow.
Briefly,
Well,
yes.
not if she did her work well, Udul says. He nods. He says, oh, so maybe you didn't see her.
Well, we
Actually, we
certainly
did.
found. We actually found a slight. We found what she left behind.
I see. He says, well, at this point, the items of power are, I assume, distributed among the factions. I don't know about the ring and the amulet, but we possess the dagger. And I am assuming that's why the elf really sent you here, was to get it from us. I doubt she cares about the citizens of Chaur or their well-being. Neither of those people care much for your citizens.
Yes, and that's extremely unfortunate. Like I said, we are not working with them. We are working adjacent to them.
Give me another persuasion check.
I think I took 3.
He says, is your interest solely coin? Or do you actually care for the people of Chaur?
I mean, coin is lovely, but, you know, we genuinely feel for their plight, and I mean, they didn't deserve to be dragged into this war. And, you know, it's unfortunate that Blackwater brought you here and, you know, betrayed you. But we genuinely feel that, you know, they're farmers. They just wanted a life, to start a new life. They're not fighters.
Says, yes, civilians, they are often, unfortunately, victims within wars that are fought. If I'm honest, I don't care much for killing civilians. I more sent my people to harry Chaur, hopefully to weaken their defenses and possibly attack to reclaim my 2 pieces. He says, even though Blackwater betrayed me, I do still wish to open this vault.
Well, I hope you know that, you know, the reason we were so aggressive towards you and your group was because of the actions of your forces in Char. I mean, it was far more than harrying.
He says, well, part of weakening the town would be taking out its food supply. I did not give them orders to maim and kill people, but unfortunately these things do sometimes happen.
Except by starving out the town, you did nothing against Blackwater.
He says, well, if the town can't eat, then they can't defend themselves, and we can just walk in and get what's ours.
Except you can't because...
Well, because you all came
Blackwater,
along, he says.
Well, because Blackwater still has his own mercenaries.
He says, well, if they had prevented the food from getting to, or if my forces had prevented food from getting into town, Blackwater and his mercenaries would have been starved out too over time. But whatever happened, it didn't seem to work, and now I'm in a bit of a mess. He says,
Yes, let's move on from this touchy subject.
are you actually planning to kill Blackwater?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh wait, I don't know if did I sign up for that.
It doesn't matter. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
He looks kind of looks over at Shan, and he says, you are part of my forces, aren't you? I recognize
Formerly.
your symbol. Did you defect?
You might say that.
Why?
More, I don't make a habit of turning on employers. It's bad for my reputation, you see. But in this case, I had to make an exception. I have a fondness for the people of Chaur, and I couldn't see them come to harm. You understand.
What is it with these people of Chaur that everyone wishes to save them? Fine.
You might.
Regardless, he says,
No.
if you truly see Blackwater as an enemy, perhaps we can help each other.
I suspect you would understand their Chaur's charm if you actually had taken the time to get to know them.
Perhaps, but that is not what happened.
No.
My reasons for being here at first were to fulfill a contract that I was hired for, with the understanding that I would be paid with the magics of the vault. When Blackwater did not come through on that, my objective became to gather relics from the old Dwarven Empire and use those to pay for this trip. So that is all I've been doing at this point, because I realize that my plan to starve out Chaur had failed, so there's no way I'm getting those 2 pieces back. However, if you do wish, or if you are planning to attack Blackwater, then maybe our aims ally.
It sounds like they do. I mean, as I said, we work adjacent with the Blood Hand, as they are in such a predicament as you are, where they too were, let's say, betrayed by Blackwater.
I don't know if you should trust the Blood Hand. For all I know, they were involved in his betrayal.
I don't trust any of you.
He says, well, if you are looking to kill Blackwater, perhaps you can get those items for me that he possesses.
Oh, I don't think so.
No.
Unfortunately, I believe that most of our trust has been broken early on. And I don't believe that we could ever truly form a respectful working relationship with each other, unfortunately.
He says, well, that is unfortunate. He crosses
Yes, it
his
is.
arms. He says,
I don't work with slavers.
sorry, what?
I don't work with slavers.
No, you work with criminals and murderers.
Ah, got him.
Compared to yourself, a criminal, a murderer, and a slaver.
He just
I'm
smiles.
technically a criminal.
He says, in any case, I'm willing to negotiate. I don't wish to lose any more of my troops. As I said, I was only here because I was paid to be here, and obviously this human is not to be trusted. If we can't work together, that's fine. It makes me happy just knowing that Blackwater will get his comeuppance.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
If you're
Now,
giving me...
about-
or go ahead.
About your slaves, I understand that they are a very great expense to lose. However, I would request that any of the slaves that you currently have from Chaur be returned to us.
He says, I believe you've freed most of them, but I can check to see if we have any of the initial ones we took. That's
know,
fine. I have no
we-
problem releasing the ones I took from Chaur.
And if you genuinely want to work with us, you know, a good show of faith would be releasing all of them to us.
He said, give me a persuasion with disadvantage.
Right.
Alright, well,
28.
He says, I thought you said you'd never work with us. Or are you just lying now?
Not lying. Trying to come to an understanding. We are negotiating. Trying to find common ground.
He narrows his eyes a bit. He says, I don't really make bets based on possibilities. If you wish to work with me, then I would release the slaves. But if you're not going to, I need my slaves. And I will keep the ones I brought from the Nazic Empire.
Well, wouldn't working together solve this quicker and with less conflict?
it would buy him time to come up with a plan to stab us in the back.
He says, I have no wish to stab... Or wait, was that mental or was that out loud?
Fuck it, out loud.
He says, my goal here, if it is possible, is to get a share of what I was originally promised, the vault loot of Isik. I have no reason to stab you in the back if you prove to be valuable allies.
I mean, why don't we do this? We have the same goals. They want to go home. Chaur doesn't really want them here.
Well, they want to
and
go...
both of us don't trust Blackwater.
Just because we have the same enemies don't mean we can be friends.
We don't have
Are
to be
you?
friends.
He
Coming
says,
from you, Patchwork, I thought you would have the biggest issue out of all of us of working with slavers, murderers.
This
Sorry,
would solve
guys,
conflict
guys,
in the most
stop.
peaceful way.
wait, is this... So are you
Guys.
guys kind of arguing in character?
Yes.
Guys,
Okay.
stop. Listen, Orkhart, it sounds like our group has quite a number of things to discuss. Why don't we take a 20-minute recess, so that each of our groups can discuss things to the side.
He nods. He says, so it seems. I've made my offer. If you would wish to work with me, I could be convinced to release my slaves, as I think you would be much more valuable if we were to go after the vault. So,
Very
just
well.
keep that in mind.
20 minutes.
He nods. And you would see a figure slip out of the tower above and join Orchard, who you recognize.
The drow?
Patchwork just hears in her head. Already broken the agreement we made.
I'm gonna whirl around to my group. I'm gonna pull them all into the bushes, and so that we're vaguely out of earshot. And I'm just gonna say, "Stop talking while I'm trying to negotiate, you guys."
It's like an angry mom. You kids are out of control. Stop it.
Guys, you're weakening our platform by constantly bickering and undermining what I'm trying to say.
Well, I think you kind of already weakened your position by lying to him.
Yeah, it wasn't really going anywhere. I didn't think that we would end up working together at this rate.
Working together is non-negotiable from my point of view anyway.
Why, he's going to release the slaves if we do, so that
It
kind
is
of
the
solves the problem.
easiest solution for all of this.
Yeah.
To
You
work
wouldn't have a
with
problem
someone
with
that
him
we-
anymore, right? Because he wouldn't have slaves anymore.
The fact that he's taken them, the fact that he has murdered countless civilians, doesn't go away because he releases some slaves. If you trust some, if
No,
you
but
think you
they
guys can
will
trust
go away
someone,
quicker, and they won't take any more slaves if we solve the situation.
it gives them a reason to stay. If they think they can actually get that vault, which quite frankly they have no hope in hell if they don't work with us. If they think they can get the vault, then they'll stay. If they have no way of getting to the vault, they have no reason to stay here.
And
Working
they will
with
have
them-
a reason to stay here.
Working
Anyway.
with them is non-negotiable from my point of view. They're murderers, they're slavers.
So what, you
Just
want to?
because we're working
wanna-
with them.
And
You
what
wanna
about
kill them?
working And what about working adjacent to them, Daranu?
You can try and spin your words as much as you want, no one.
Karen.
Karen,
There's no
good
one.
point. I don't know. No idea. Karen would have said Karen. Because, you know.
Yeah.
That's fine. I
Karen
know.
doesn't
I know what
have
you
to
meant.
remember
Yeah.
Fucking name.
Look. I realize that this group tends to have a very black and white view on things. However, you know, would working with the Iron Tide be in order to take out Blackwater be better than working on it ourselves?
No.
Is it just the fact that he is a slaver?
No.
What is it then?
What is it?
He's a slaver. He's a murderer. He's committed countless war crimes since he's been here.
Haven't we too?
You wanted to kill a guy that's had surrendered, which is also a war crime.
Yeah.
Did I draw
actually
my
water
blade?
boil the bloke though, so
You're not
I-
one- You're
Did
not
I draw my
one
blade?
Darren.
Did I
So-
actually go to kill him? Or did I threaten to kill him?
Sorry, what did you say, KY? Because I want to give you a chance to talk to.
I didn't actually do any war crimes. I didn't waterboard the bloke, so
Yeah.
You tried
Yeah.
to.
I tried to. It
Same
just
difference.
worked.
He tried to
So, it's-
waterboard.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I
didn't do it.
Daranu, this conversation is an opportunity to get everything out into the open and start fresh on new solid ground. Okay.
hmm If you choose
We
to
don't-
work with them, I will
we
not
don't
be able
have-
to sleep.
We don't have to be friends with him. We don't have to like the guy. But I will remind you that he is willing to give up all of his slaves for this.
The sooner this is solved, the sooner they are gone.
Yeah, can't we just do it and then like backstab him later?
Because what's the
No.
alternative, Jarny? We kill everybody? Was that what you wanted to do?
Well,
No,
the
they go
alternative,
home.
they go
Well,
home
they-
with their slaves.
With the ones they had brought from the Nazic Empire.
The-
Right, which I don't think is
Great.
conducive. Yeah,
I mean,
it's
how
not
many
great.
slaves do they have left?
I think there's a lot. I would know that, right?
So actually, yeah. So Shan and Karen would know a little bit about that because they were inside the cave. They probably, after all that you freed, they probably have about 30 or so.
Oh, there's no. I mean, there's only 30. Just let them keep them. You know what I mean?
We can't
Yeah.
save everyone. And if the items of power in this vault are truly as powerful as people are claiming they're going to be, or as valuable as people say they are, then what do you think a man like that is going to do with that power?
We don't have to give
If
him
you-
shit at all.
We're not giving him. If you choose to work with him, that is you choosing to work with him. I will not.
What are you gonna do then? Just hang out?
All right. How about anybody else in the group? Patchwork. What is your opinion?
I think we should work together with them. As I said, the sooner this is solved, the sooner they are gone, the sooner this area is peaceful again. I think this is the easiest way. This is the way with the least conflict.
And Quinton?
Technically still hidden.
Yeah, Quentin's still hiding in the shadows somewhere.
I saw that. I saw that post.
Is
DM.
Quentin going to
It's so
ambush
true.
them?
I think he was. I don't know, Quentin. Are you listening to what your group's saying?
I'm listening to it all. Also, I can lip read with observant. God, I'm not trying to ambush. It's just they don't know I was here because when we met the drow, I was a fox. So they
Well,
might think there's less of us than there are. So
give
I'm
me a
going with.
give me a wisdom check.
Okay. Just straight wisdom, not saving throw.
Yeah, just a straight wisdom.
How do I do that?
You just click on wisdom.
Oh,
So you would think they know you're there.
Bollocks. Right, cool.
Because if the drow was hiding here before the group got here, she saw you transform.
I didn't transform. I just slunk into the shadows. I haven't burnt a wild shape yet.
Are you just doing a stealth roll?
Yeah,
I thought
burnt
you were in
and
animal
drained.
form. Give me a stealth check
did.
then, because I'm curious if any of them saw you.
I did earlier. I gave it just after I cast enhance ability, and I burnt an inspiration to get a nat 20, which gave me 21.
21. All right. So yeah, well, she probably saw you when you first arrived, so I guess she wouldn't know for sure where you went, but they probably know you're hiding somewhere.
Okay.
Well, assuming she was already here and she didn't sneak in later, but you would guess she probably came here early to observe. Anyway, back to the conversation. Sorry. Little sidebar.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
So, I personally am willing to negotiate whatever deals you guys want to make, whether you want to work with them or not. Personally, I'm happy to go along with whatever you guys want, but I do request that you guys keep your comments to yourself while I'm trying to negotiate.
Why is that?
Especially you, Shan.
Who seems to be doing more for them than he is for us?
Oh, she, yeah.
She, sorry.
I don't know if we explained it to you, but what we really needed was for you to be a mediator, you know? Not necessarily on our side, not necessarily on their side.
Well, yeah, that's why I said you shouldn't lie to him about your enchantment, which you did. Because he's not using any.
We don't know he's not. He
That's
just
true.
said he wasn't.
You could do detect magic. I don't know if anyone has it, though.
no.
It's not like it helped me with those 2 nat 1s.
That's true.
That's
yeah.
not my fault.
And so, yeah, that's also why it's my opinion that we should work with them, because that way everybody gets what they want. The slaves get to go home. The soldiers get to go home. Everybody wins.
No. Nobody wins.
I thought your whole thing was like,
Orcard
to
gets
sleep.
richer, he gains more power.
Well, then we can deal with him after if he becomes a problem.
You're right, Darren. Nobody wins because it's a compromise. That's what compromises are.
And that's the one thing I'm not willing to compromise on.
Patchwork, that's what you would have gotten. Because you see they have some crates with them.
Yeah, I was
They
checking if I sensed any poison.
They did bring dinner, as requested.
Quentin, Kieran.
Is
What's
Quentin back?
If I'm convinced over 50% that they know I'm here, I'm gonna stop hiding.
Yeah,
There's 20 months at this point.
you would guess that you don't know for sure that she was in position when you all arrived, but if she was, then she knows that you hid somewhere. Doesn't necessarily know where you are, but...
And I know I don't see when she turns up and goes, so for all I know, she could have turned up after her.
Yeah. She seems to be very good at hiding, though not so good at perceiving, per se. So you see them setting up a table over there and starting to break out the food, by the way.
I'll stay hidden. If I think there's a chance they've not seen me and we can keep an advantage that they
Okay.
don't know I'm here, I will keep hidden. Sorry. Carry on.
That's fine.
Also, just side note, I've said my piece. They agreed to come as 5. I count 6.
Did they? Was that part of it?
Yeah, they agreed. Wait, or
They
wait.
agreed him and 5 others, and there's one extra, right? What's her name is here? Hiding person.
Yeah, the drow, who I don't know if she
Yeah.
gave you her name yet. I don't
She
remember them saying they'd only bring 5, though.
Yeah,
He-
Western Tower
they
in night, small group, 5 people. Until then, no fighting is my notes.
Yeah, they agreed to bring 5 people.
Yeah.
There's 6 of them.
Oh,
Darren
yeah, I
is
guess
dead.
that's true.
Fine, yeah. And he
Yeah,
also
well-
said not for
Oh,
her.
so I may have misremembered that. If that's the case, then there were 4 of them when they arrived. Sorry, I should have, I wasn't
So-
meaning for him to be
so
deceptive.
just-
I just misremembered that.
So just 2 captains then.
Yeah, there would be 2 captains. There would
Okay.
be 2 captains, Urdul and Orkard, and then Shaith would have just stepped out. My apologies, because he wasn't meaning to be deceptive there. Well, at least not totally deceptive.
Well,
So anyway, yeah, what do you all want to do?
You guys tell me.
Yeah, I'm in favor.
I
of
mean-
an-
My piece
Yeah.
has been said.
I want to work together.
So Shan said yes, she wanted to work together. Patchwork wants to work together. What did Kai say, or did he say anything?
Whatever's easier.
So Kai just sort of relinquishes to whatever the group wants. Did Karen have an
Now-
opinion?
No.
Okay, so it's Duranu
Now,
and
Kai.
yeah.
Now, Kai, you were a slave with them.
Yeah.
I guess. What is your opinion? Like, you've been with them for a while. Like, you've seen how they work, how they behave. You've observed them. What are your thoughts?
I'm a bit indifferent. They made me work with a load of people, which I don't really particularly like. And obviously, I had to get used to that. But to be honest, they wanted something, they took it. I respect that. So, essentially, whatever's the easiest option. I mean, I'm not all for slavery, but they wanted it, they took it.
Alright, so
So we have 2 yes, 1 no, and 1 maybe.
one kind of in the middle.
Should we just count that as like an abstain vote, or
Yeah. Daranu, is there anything that we can do or say that will make you feel, if not comfortable, nobody will feel comfortable working with these people, but at least make it possible to tolerate them?
No,
what?
there isn't. And if you guys you wanted to work with the Bloodhand, I didn't. I accepted that we were going to work with the Bloodhand. I could compromise on that. This I cannot compromise on.
Well, I still want to know, like, what's your idea? Like, what's your plan? What do you want to do?
My plan, they leave.
Yeah, but how are you going to get them to agree to do that? By what I mean, like, you're cool with them taking their slaves with them?
So what
They've already,
yeah, go
they've
go
already
ahead.
agreed to leave. They've already agreed
Right.
to leave if we choose to not work with them.
Right.
Um,
Exactly.
Mhm.
But they're going to
The-
take their
the
slaves with
only
them.
Yes, except for the ones that came from Chaur. They've agreed to release those. It's just whether or not we're okay with letting them take their slaves.
Right. So that's what. So Darren, you're cool with that?
I can't change the way the wind blows.
I'm actually interested in this dagger. Are we actually going to get it to go into the vault?
Yes.
Because
Yeah,
it
that-
sounds like some wicked bullshit.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah,
say
sorry,
that's the one thing you haven't really agreed with him on yet is if what's the conditions if he's to give you the dagger. It was kind of just mentioned.
Yeah.
If we
Yeah,
go up
Blackwater.
against Blackwater.
That's true. Well, you can bargain with him for it. It wasn't really talked about yet. Sorry, go ahead, KY. What were you saying?
I want to see what's in this vault, considering the fact I was digging for a load of shit. So, yeah. So I'm all for working with him if we can see what's in the vault.
As a point, if we don't work with him, we still go after the vault. We just go after the vault with the Bloodhound. If we go after the vault with him, then you guys have got to then figure out how the fuck you get the Bloodhound on board with that as well.
Actually, everyone can give me a wisdom check at this point. You might realize something.
Like, yeah.
Ah,
You've either got to go against the Bloodhound, or you go with the Bloodhound with him. I can't roll,
Oh God, you guys.
but that
alright.
is your decision.
Oh.
I was
So Shan
good.
kind of
The one person who hasn't met Sithral.
yeah. So Shan
Oh.
kind of listening to all that, you would get the feeling as they're talking that the Bloodhand probably already know about the vault. If they were getting items for Blackwater, then
Yeah,
they
we know.
probably want to go after the vault. They just haven't told you that yet.
No, they've told us they want to go after the vault. They told us that we could
Oh,
work
okay.
with them. Well,
because
Oh well, there you
I
go.
mentioned
Yeah, we've
I
made
yeah,
that
I meant-
negotiation.
yeah, I mentioned to Blackwater about Isaac, and then Karen moaned at me for it. So yeah, you know.
Oh well, there you go. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Just out of character. If you work with the Iron Tide, you've either got to backstab the Bloodhand or convince the Iron Hide and the Bloodhand to work together. That is all I'm going to say. But Darren has made his position clear.
Which
that's that.
arguably shouldn't be that difficult because, the Bloodhand was betrayed by Blackwater just as much as the Iron Tide is. Like, they've both got an enemy in Blackwater.
Yeah, or so they claim
So-
anyway.
Well, we don't know the full truth about who backstabbed who. Also, like,
That's
the
why
Iron
I'm
Tide
asking-
went after.
That's why I'm asking for everybody's side of the story.
Yeah, no, getting everyone's side of the story is obviously valid. Because there are four sides to this story. Blackwater's, the Bloodhands, the Iron Tides, and the Truth. But, like, the Iron Tide went after the Bloodhand in order to get the dagger. Is what Orcod just told us.
Well, yeah, they hired us to go after
Mm.
the Iron Tide.
Yeah.
And
Like
so
these two
technically-
hostile groups.
Technically, we're semi-negotiating on the Bloodhand behalf.
Hmm.
All right,
Debatable,
so
but okay.
they've set up a table over there. You've been speaking for a while. Do you want to go speak to them again, or are you gonna talk some more over here?
Okay, guys, our 20 minutes are just about up. We need to come up with at least a temporary solution.
Question, DM: how long has this been going? Like the whole negotiation been going on? Is it close to my hour for enhanced ability? Nearly up for Karen.
It's probably been a good. I mean, it's been what, like a half hour in actual time, so it's probably been a good like 30 to 40 minutes. We'll say it's 12:40 right now, so you're probably getting towards the end of your spell.
Okay.
It sounds like the majority decision is to work with them. Am I wrong?
I'll come out of my hiding place so I can recast enhanced ability on Karen.
Just right in front of
before
them.
she Yeah, well, I'm not gonna like be sneakily. I'm actually just gonna walk out like quite like you didn't fucking see me, just like quite cocky, just like bitch, but into like the group thing. Yeah,
And then
I
just
fucking say.
cast a spell on Karen.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
It's my comprehend languages.
Sure it is.
And I will. Quint. Yeah, so Quinton's gonna walk over and go. I'm not okay with working with them at all. But I'll explain it to you later, so we don't have to go along in a long conversation about it. But no. And then I'll cast. Well, I'll wait for us to go over to the meal, then I'll cast Enhance Ability on them. So when we go over, I'll do it.
All right. Well, are you ready to go over, or do you need to talk more? All right.
Guys, we can't work with them.
Oh, okay. Why?
Like I respect you, Shan, and I respect you, Kai, and Patrick. You know that I care about you, but I mean, I have to give my I have to give Quentin and Daranu a bigger say just because I know them better. And that's not to say that we can't work together. However, I've worked with them, and they are both adamantly telling me absolutely not. And unfortunately, we can't move forward without them.
Oh, but but it sounds like
it's-
3-3, right?
Yeah, but at
3,
this
4,
rate,
3.
the group is gonna split, and
The group is gonna split.
I don't
and
want that either.
We can't split. We can't split on this. So.
Yeah,
If-
I get it. I'm not insisting on this either. It's not all or nothing for me. I just think that this would be easier, but
Okay. Well,
unfortunately,
I'd rather stay with you all than go with them alone. So that's fine with me.
I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, I
As
don't
do
have
I.
a super strong feelings either way, but you guys, I don't know. It seemed like you were pretty anti-slave, and you're willing to let them walk away with all the slaves. That seems a little bit at odds.
Yeah, well, it's either working with slavers or like.
I mean, I
leaving
dislike it.
captivity.
Oh yeah. I mean, I dislike it, but it's not. I'm not gonna die on that hill. So yeah, if you guys want to let him go, sounds fine with me.
Yeah, some people have, how do you say it, higher stakes in this matter.
It's distasteful, but I would think that freeing them would be the morally correct thing, if anything.
It's not the freeing them that's the problem. It's the working with them. That's the problem. Freeing the slaves, I'm all for. It's working with them.
Okay. Well, you know, that you seem like you have good reasons for that, so I'll go along with it. Whatever.
All right.
Like I said, I'm a mercenary.
Honestly,
I go with the highest bidder, right?
And I just
I
particularly
too
really
don't
care,
like. Sorry.
I'm indifferent, so I don't particularly care. So
I don't like both options either. I just thought that I would go with the easier
just as
one,
a
the
point,
path of least resistance, the one that probably, in my view, could have the better outcome, but
and to cover all the bases.
I will not die on
If
this
we
hill,
want-
as she said.
Mm-hmm.
If we want the slaves, we can take the slaves.
Hmm.
We're already winning. We can continue. We can continue. The easiest option is letting them walk away. The hardest option is fight to the last man.
Yeah, if you want to fight him, I'm all for it. But you shouldn't tell him that you're gonna let him go and then stab him in the back. That's kind of.
That's clever.
And that's not what I would do. Unlike yourselves, who continually state you have honor but have shown none of it, I would tell him negotiations have come to an end.
No, yeah, that's fine. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, just
But
like
did Shan
let him
not-
know you're gonna fight him. That's pretty honorable, I think, right?
Did Shan not turn against them because she was against them having slaves?
Exactly. Thank you,
Yes,
Patrick.
but... No, you're
And
entirely
as a
right,
point-
Patrick.
As a point, no one you can tell them our intent if they don't meet our
Who is no one?
He meant
Karen.
Karen. It's fine.
Darren doesn't know that no one is a thing, so Darren who
Then
always
stop
says
calling
Karen.
me no one.
Then
He's-
change your fucking name.
That's
You're
true.
entirely
You
right.
Did.
I'm
You're
just going
entirely
to
right,
walk off and go
Patrick.
and have something to eat.
Shan did turn against slaves, but funny enough, they'd had slaves for a while before Shan ditched. So clearly it wasn't that big of a deal. And then Quinton's going to walk off and go and eat food.
Yeah, I've just.
Oh, that's also.
that-
I mean, that's not true, but
Yeah, after that might drop, Quinton's going to...
that I was like a recent recruit, actually. But
We don't know.
all right. So you go back to the table, or are you all going to the
Yeah.
table?
Yeah.
go back.
Yeah,
All right.
just before we go, I got enhanced ability on Karen's. We got Eagles.
Splendor.
So they brought
is
some an assortment of spiced meats and vegetables. It actually smelled pretty good.
I'm gonna
Not
sit
that I would
opposite.
know.
I'm gonna sit opposite Chase, the drow elf, and I'm gonna go. Are you gonna feed me again like you did yesterday?
Oh, that's not Shaith. You don't know what her name
No,
is.
I do. Oh, okay, but I know the drow elf, so
Yeah.
I'll
All
sit
right.
opposite.
So you sit down. You all sit down, and Orcard starts offering food. And you say, "Are you gonna feed me again?"
Yeah, you're gonna feed me again like you did yesterday.
She says, "Oh, are you a druid?"
No, I'm a really weird, kinky person.
Well, that might be true as well. I've met some kinky druids, and she winks at you.
Yeah. Okay.
And she just kind of smiles under her mask. What are the rest of you doing / saying?
When she said Kinky Druid, I asked her what her name was.
Oh, how rude of me. I am Mayara Ducat of family Ducat. My house is deep within deep underneath the surface.
Could you spell that in chat?
Yes.
Thank you.
In fact, I can just change it on her thing now. Or wait, did I close her sheet? There she is. Da-da. There you go. She says, and I know a little bit about your names, but I must say I don't know all of them. And she sort of looks around the table as if wanting you to share your names.
Yes,
She says,
we actually
go
never
ahead.
introduced ourselves. How terrible of us. My name is Karen.
Karen, the shapeshifter, Orcard says. You were the one who infiltrated my ranks.
Briefly, yes.
I assume
Unfortunately.
we've spoken before then.
Once or twice. But
He
it's lovely
nods.
to meet you officially, and she'll offer her hand to shake up for him to shake.
He puts his hand forward, his gloved hand, and shakes yours. He says, I must admit, having a shapeshifter in my ranks would be extremely useful. You should maybe consider joining us.
Yes, I've been told that numerous times.
He says, and you probably know my second in command, Erdul. He kind of motions to the wizard sitting next to him, who nods at you all.
Yes, I'm terribly keen to chat with you, actually. And she'll put her hand out again for him to shake.
He just looks at it. He says, I assume we've spoken before, too.
Once or twice.
And he just looks at your hand and continues sitting there. Orcard says, Erdul, be polite. He just sighs and shakes your hand. And what about this one? Kinky Druid is his name, apparently, Hyara says, smiling. A shapeshifter?
Quinton's going to do Druidcraft to predict the weather and then just tell him the weather and not give him his name.
It's going to be partially cloudy with a 5% chance of showers tomorrow morning.
Quinton will just go, gonna rain tomorrow, potentially.
Hmm.
And then just go to eating.
And what about you, Dragonborn? He says, looking at Taranu.
name's-
Dovahkiib.
Their name's too powerful to give freely.
I see. And
Daranu.
the construct.
Daranu,
Oh.
don't be rude.
My name is Patchwork. It's nice to meet you.
I must admit, Urdul says, I've never met a construct who could speak so much like a humanoid. Are you a warforged?
Oh, yeah, I am.
Fascinating, he says. It is nice to meet you. As I said, you are a wonder. I've never seen such a magical, such an advanced magical item that could do as much as you can do.
Oh, yeah, I get that a lot. I'm the only one of my kind, as far as I know.
I see. And of course, we all know Shan, they say, looking towards you. And
I do a salute, Commander.
And I think you, he looks to Kai, you are one of the wanderers we captured in the area, weren't you?
Yeah, it was.
Says, my apologies if you were treated harshly. It seems, yeah. Well, I'm glad things worked out. And you all, I assume, are eating while you're speaking.
No.
Well,
Yes.
Yeah.
Patchwork,
No.
Patchwork's just sitting there awkwardly, like smiling, looking around as
I
everyone's
like
eating.
to imagine
Patchwork
that
is
Patchwork
just-
has like a massive plate of food and they're just like fake eating it.
No, she's just
Like,
staring
be
at it.
polite.
She's just staring at it very sadly.
It's like, this is interesting. All right. So is anyone else saying anything?
She's
I
missing.
think I'm
She's
I think
missing
I'm just-
something she doesn't know.
Yeah.
just chatting amicably with like Urdul and Orkard.
All right.
Like,
That's
so tell me about, the Nazic Empire. It must be lovely.
it is a harsh and unforgiving land that will take life as quickly as one might have a breakfast. Yes, we have to fight dearly to preserve our dominance there and not be taken by one of the other clans. Orkard says, "I was hoping that the vault could give us a bit of an advantage in that."
So
What
there
does it
must be
do?
quite a number of ideal vacation spots there, hey?
They just sort of look at you. Maybe, I suppose, but in general, there's a lot of unrest and strife. Warlords continuously battle for supremacy. I am guessing that your empire is much more, much less, what would the word be? Chaotic.
Well, our empire is very cutthroat in a different way. Unfortunately, that is how empires tend to be.
If anyone would know, a shapeshifter would, Urdul says. I'm betting you've been involved in plenty of the political squabbles that happen here. Maybe a knife.
Goodness, no,
Maybe a knife
Goodness, no, I'm
inserted
a-
into someone's back here or there.
oh goodness, no. I worked as a librarian.
Give me a deception roll.
It's true though.
It's not all you've done.
Advantage.
They just kind of look at you up and down and just nod. So Orkard finally says, "So, have you decided what you wish to do in regards to this, all of this? Do you wish to work with us, or do you wish us to leave?"
Well, unfortunately, I'm afraid our alliance could never work, as too much damage has been done. You know what? We've had a talk and debated the pros and cons, but unfortunately, there just doesn't seem to be a way that we can get over that breach of trust.
Give me another persuasion check. He nods and he says, it's regrettable, but if your mind is made up, I will not waste your time trying to convince you further. But I will say that if you do intend to go after Blackwater and the vault, my horde behind you would be a valuable asset. Still, it sounds like that will not be the case. So, we will stay here another week to get as much as we can, then head out.
Yes, and is there any way that we could get it from you?
Get what?
The dagger.
Yes. He says it's a powerful magical item. Do you have something to give us in return for it, or do you just expect me to hand it over?
Well, we would expect you to hand it over with the promise that we will stab Blackwater in the back with it.
Give me a persuasion check with disadvantage. So straight roll. 20.
Straight roll.
He sort of smiles and he says, that does bring me some amount of comfort. Alright, so then a deal is struck. We shall have a week to dig. You will not attack us, and then we shall take whatever we have and leave this place.
I'll put my hand out for him to shake.
He would...
And you will return the Chaur citizens to us.
Yes. I don't know if we have any more, but if we do, we shall return them.
Please double check.
We still have his prisoners, right? We should give them back as well.
Oh, right.
Yes,
I guess they've been kind of awkwardly standing there this whole time.
They've been
completely
tied to the
forgotten
bottom of
about.
the tower. I'm just like, oh, they belong to you. I don't want them. They're irritating.
He
Yes,
nods
he,
and says, I'm surprised you took prisoners, but yes, I'll take them back then.
Out of character, are the guys that are in the Chaur dungeon still alive?
Probably not.
Yeah,
Well, they would
probably
get-
not. But
Oh,
Spider was trying to save them, but I don't know. Like,
you
how
don't,
that's
yeah,
worked
you're
out.
not sure, because Moonbiter did go back to town, so if he did, agree to, or negotiate their release, you wouldn't have known, because you haven't been back to town in a while.
We'll find out when we go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Well,
says,
maybe
anything
we'll
else?
send well, I have to say this is such a delicious meal. Applause for your chef.
And Orcard sort of looks over to Erdul, who you can see, even though he's remaining stoic, he may have smiled a bit from the compliment. He says,
Yes.
Erdul, in addition to being a world-class wizard, loves to cook. He says, well,
My goodness. Have you ever thought about opening your own restaurant?
it would probably be burned to the ground by some neighboring clan, so no. In war, there's no
Well.
time for cooking, usually, but I figured if I had some time to prepare a good meal, perhaps it would show you all of our skill, or demonstrate our
That's-
skill to you all.
I have to say it's incredible. Like, how did you get the spice on the meat?
Well, if you really must know, and he starts going into a bunch of cooking techniques. You could tell he's really
Aw.
into cooking as he starts.
Aw, that is so cute. You guys, I'm so.
Yeah.
Why can't we
But-
work with them?
What wonderful people eating so lovely whilst the slayers they have.
They're all human.
Charming people. Yes, entirely.
Oh
Hell,
my
you can
gosh.
work with them if you want. That's not a problem. If you want to
Yeah.
work with them, work with them.
I mean,
But
I get the
guys-
distinct impression that they're not like
folks.
evil. They just have like a different set of values because where they come
Yeah.
from, again, it's legal and
And-
kind of
Yeah.
expected in
So
their
to
culture.
us, they
Doesn't-
may be evil. To them, they are not. Again.
Right.
Morally ambiguous.
Mhm.
Yeah,
We've
everyone's
had this
kind of
debate.
yeah.
We've had
Everyone's
this debate
kind of
before.
evil in certain ways, but yeah. So yeah, you're all eating. So you agreed upon it. He shook hands with you.
Yeah.
And go
I
ahead.
do have to say, I am curious about your story, Orkard. Um, your accent is quite impeccable.
He says, "Well, I was actually raised within the your empire. The what the fuck's it called? I keep thinking of the capital name. The Teruvian Empire. I had human parents, as mine were killed in Nazik, and I had to flee because my clan was wiped out and they were hunting me. So a friend of mine took me to your empire, and humans took pity on me. So I'm actually fairly adept in the cultural ways of the Teruvians,
These nice.
or Sonians, and all the different races you humans have.
Hmm. Well, I do want to mention that, during my time with you guys, it was mentioned quite a number of times on how strong of a leader you are and how much work you do for your clan. It's very impressive.
Yeah, I do what I must. But I'm glad that my clan trusts me. One of the reasons why
You do
I am.
far more.
Go ahead.
You do far more than what you must.
He says, it's effective. He says, many rule through fear and force, but that can only be so effective if your clan does not respect and appreciate what you do for them. He says, I view my clan as my family, and it's us versus the world. He says, no mercy to those who would be our enemies.
And what of your slaves?
What of them?
Don't they deserve a chance?
Give me a persuasion check. He says, those who are captured within the Nazik have few options besides death, though sometimes death is preferable to being enslaved. He says, I don't always know if what I'm doing is right, but I require what they do because telling my soldiers to do it would put a great dishonor upon them and would bring anger towards me as a leader. Because it is seen in our empire that slaves do that sort of work, where the warriors fight and die for the clan's honor. He says, I don't know if it's the right answer, but it is the one I have followed.
Well, it's I would argue it's probably not the right one since, it's the reason why members of our group cannot work with you.
He nods. He says, perhaps it was a mistake, but it's the way we do things. And I understand your empire has a different way.
So if everybody jumped off a bridge, then you would follow suit?
He says, no, there's nothing to be gained from suicide. At least not usually.
Well, there you go. But if everybody else is doing it?
He says, but slavery does have certain advantages and gains from it. But
well, it does.
This conversation sours the food. We should talk about something else.
I just wanted to say it does wear the soul, does it not?
It does. Many things wear the soul, but they are necessary for survival.
Is it? Have you considered giving your slaves a small stipend?
He says, pay them? You mean give them a share of the treasure?
Doesn't need to be a large share. Just enough to keep them happy. There have been studies shown that people who
Please cite your sources.
Yep. Librarian.
The Teruvian Institution of
There are studies that show that that workers who can work for a living and have a better quality of life and have happiness actually do better work overall.
Yeah, Karen forms capitalism in the Nazic. Give me a persuasion check.
With advantage because I have enhanceability.
Yep.
Says perhaps there is wisdom in your words. Maybe as I want or as I treat my soldiers well to gain their respect, so I could gain respect from my workers. I shall keep your words in mind, Karen.
And arguably, that's how you build trust. And you could probably even gain, stronger, more loyal soldiers through your slaves.
Says maybe.
I mean, it's worked for us.
He says
After freeing.
there's possibly wisdom in what you say. I would have to see what sort of money we have after this expedition, but maybe in the future I will consider using labor instead of slaves, as they'd be more trustworthy and, as you say, possibly more useful if they're being paid, because they'd be happier.
Exactly. I have to say, there is nothing quite as powerful as a good mood.
He nods. All right. Anything else the group or anyone wants to talk about, or should I just pass dinner?
We just
We're just messing about in the chat.
Yeah, I see that.
Well,
While mom's talking to the nice hobgoblin man, everyone's
while you
playing
We're
with their
not
food.
interrupting.
Yeah,
Well,
We're not interrupting.
while you were talking, Quentin gave Patrick another reason to stay, so that's all good.
yeah. All right,
Kyle
so
started feeding Shan, Quentin started feeding. No, Kyle started feeding the drow. Quentin started feeding Shan. Shan's irritated. Quentin's loving it.
So I'll say time is passing. You finish dinner. Everyone eats up, and Orcard will say, "Where, if I do find some of your some of your people among the slaves, where would you want them brought?"
Here tomorrow morning.
Nods.
Dawn.
He says, "I'll leave them by the tower. I will have my people come out to tower duty later. Just make sure you get them before, I'll say, 10 o'clock. And we will have another week of digging, and after that, we shall take what we've found and head back to the Nazic Empire."
By the way, do you guys have a rat?
A rat. He looks at you curiously. I mean, I'm sure there are rats all over the mine.
No, I mean like a smart one.
Erdul again looks at you very curiously and says, "A smart rat. I can't say I do."
Do I believe him?
What's your passive insight?
I have a +2 to my insight.
So 12.
Well,
Yeah. I mean, you don't.
My passive is 16.
He seems
got
to
my
think
passive
your question is odd. You don't think he's being tricksy. None of you really get the signal that he's lying about it.
Okay,
Or
now
card.
I'm more curious with this rat.
Orcard says, well, maybe,
This rat.
I mean, I'm sure there are some rats in the mine that are more intelligent than others, but I can't say I know of any particular one.
Well, if you find one that can spell, let me know.
Yes, we shall do that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. This was a lovely chat, a lovely conversation, and I genuinely hope that maybe one day we can patch up some things and maybe eventually get to a place where we can work together.
Says, that might be good. We are in the Nazic Empire. If you are ever there, you should seek us out. We could probably find work for you.
Will do. And Erdul, absolutely incredible food.
Says,
Truly
"Oh,
spectacular.
well, it's all about certain techniques," he says. So yeah, one moment actually. Let me look at
Who is this
look at-
rat?
Who's this rat? Let me look for something.
Perhaps I judged them too harshly.
No, they're horrible people.
It's nuanced, but I
They
get
are
where
people.
Darren is coming from on it.
They are people like everyone else.
Like, even
Yeah,
robotic
and they get
people.
to leave instead of me murdering them all.
There you go. No, I can't use that.
Well, doesn't that raise the question if I am a person?
I think so. What? Because you've got like a soul kind of thing going on, right? So that means
Oh, I don't
yes.
know. How am I supposed to know?
Patchwork is a person. Every person is different. Darren is just going to pull out a ration and just like continue to stand like 20 feet away from the table at all times.
God damn it. Sorry, give me one moment. I'm trying to get something.
He's looking up a D&D cookbook.
Uh,
Blame the rat.
So as Orkar is about to leave, he says, "Oh yes, one other thing," and he draws a familiar dagger from his scabbard and says, "The dagger of Asiok, as promised." And he slides it across the table towards you.
I'll take it.
A show of goodwill. He says, "And I assume we will not be attacked by your people anymore, as agreed."
As agreed, no.
All right,
7 days.
7 days, indeed. So you took the dagger of Asiok?
Yes.
Okay,
Darren.
make sure. Make sure you have that in your inventory. Okay, so he is going to take off. You would see that Ayara actually stays behind, kind of leaning against the table they set up. She would say, "Are you heading back to Chaur after this?"
That's the plan. Did you want to tag along?
I was thinking about it. I have no wish to return to the Nazic Empire if this deal's a bust. I might see what sort of fortune I can find within the Teruvian lands.
I
Why don't
would be
you
happy
help
to-
us out?
Sorry, what?
Oh, I was just going to ask her if she wanted to help us out.
She says, "Well, that was my thought. Perhaps either help you or see maybe what sort of work I could find within Chaur. It sounds like there's trouble brewing there."
I do recommend. I will say that Blackwater has some very, very bad Yelp reviews.
What's Yelp?
1 star.
don't
would not work with again. Betrayed or card.
Yeah.
If you work with Blackwater, you will end up fighting us.
Well, I didn't say I was going to work with Blackwater. She says, but
just giving you a heads up. You know, he pays well if he pays you.
she says it might be.
But his checks tend to bounce.
She says, "I think it would be in bad taste to work with someone who just betrayed my former employee. So I'll see what's available. I hear Highguard has a lot of work as well. And that's a pretty big city.
Highguard is a wonderful place.
Highguard
is a wonderful place.
Lots of interactions with the lizard folk tribes to the south, swamplands. I don't know. But yes, I don't wish to go back to the Nazic Empire. The only reason I went there in the first place was because my family owed the Iron Tide a favor, and this seemed like a profitable venture. Now that it's gone south, I find myself not knowing what I'll do next. Who knows? Perhaps I'll work for your mercenary group." And she looks to Quentin. "Perhaps I'll work with the kinky druid over there."
Quentin kind of like, right, okay.
In any case,
how's the weather, Quentin? How's the weather?
Yeah, how's the weather, Quentin? Partially cloudy.
I feel very strange right now. Like, no,
And she just laughs. And she
Well.
says, well, I don't know if you want to trust me with your camp location, but if you are to go back, where could I meet you? Perhaps we can travel together, as I don't know these lands very well.
Here, tomorrow, before 10.
With the slaves from Chaur, if they have any.
Ah, yes, I can come out with them. All right,
Yes.
very well. Have a good night, everyone. Stay safe.
It was lovely to officially meet you, Aera.
You as well, Karen. Patchwork, Kinky Druid. And she would take off.
It's Fluffy Kitty all over again.
It's the whole
I love
fluffy
it.
kitty controversy. All right, so what's the party going to do? It's quiet. They left the table here, but pretty much everyone is gone as far as you can tell.
Well, are we happy with how that turned out?
With a good compromise, is anybody happy?
I'm happy. Except for a drow elf that thinks I'm into her.
Oh, you did
Are you
start
not?
You
that.
let her feed you.
No, I'm
That's
really
true.
not.
You let her feed you,
You
and
were-
you called yourself kinky. So,
I didn't call myself kinky.
You
I-
were flirting.
mixed
Was I
signals.
flirting?
That was
Was
flirting.
I? Was I?
Yes.
Yeah, well,
Right. What? No one gave me a back rub. No one did anything. How is that flirting?
Is that how you do it in England? I'm sorry, I assumed
No.
England. I don't know if it's England. It might be just be.
Quentin
Tomorrow.
is from
No,
the
in England,
northern
we-
forest. There's no back rubs.
In England, we insult each other. There.
You yell at each other.
Constantly. Yeah,
Sarcasm.
so it works here. Darren's just going to sit down at the table and just keep eating his rations.
All right.
He
They've
didn't.
gone.
He didn't have any. He didn't have any of Erdwell's food.
No, he just
Oh,
stood
by the
like
way-
20 feet away, just looking at you all, just like watching you all eat their food.
It
No,
was delicious.
By the way, I did not tell you, but I did cast detect poison before this, so I can safely tell the food is not poisoned.
Would it?
None of it.
That's
good.
great. Now that I've eaten it.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
Well, it's better than her saying, "Oh, by the way, that was all poisoned. You're all dead."
Yeah, with all that was going on, I completely forgot. I'm sorry.
Well, there's no need to tell us it's not poisoned, as long as you would tell us if it is.
Yeah, I do think I would have done that. Probably.
You
Yeah.
think you would have? Think.
You hope
Jeez,
so.
Quinta's just gonna start swearing in Celestial. That I don't know if anyone else I know Patchwork knows, but I don't know if anyone else does. Quinta just starts swearing in Celestial as he walks out.
I don't understand Celestial, I understand Primordial.
Alright.
His Quinta starts swearing in Celestial.
So you
Yeah, I can be a bit scatterbrained sometimes. It's
it's a construct
part
thing,
of
maybe.
part of the reason for my name. Part of it.
All right. So yeah, you have some more of the food or finish eating, and I assume you're heading back.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, you'd probably get back around like 2 a.m. And I assume hurriedly go to bed. Shock would meet you as you come back and say, "How did it go?" You're all still alive, so that's good.
Not great, but it's dealt with. We can head back to Chaur tomorrow.
Says, "Oh, well, that sounds like a good outcome." All right.
Very
Well,
tired explaining.
sleep well, my friend. He sort of pats you on the shoulder. All right, so you all go to sleep for the evening. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm setting up my alarm spell.
Okay. Go ahead and spend a long rest. So you awaken in the morning. You are pretty late. Sorry, I'm yawning. Ugh. So it's probably about 9 a.m. now when you finally finish sleeping, changing your rest to a 9 a.m.
sorry.
rest.
Sorry, before we go to sleep, can I identify the dagger?
You can, although you're probably pretty tired. At this point, if you do that, it'll delay your resting schedule even further. You might want to wait till morning.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay. But in the morning, I assume your casting Identify as a ritual.
Yep.
Do you have the pearl that you need?
Yeah.
I
Yep.
sure do.
All right, so the dagger.
Unless you've stolen it from me
It's gone.
from the last time. From the last time.
Iara took it when you weren't watching. Son of a bitch.
Damn it. It's okay. I think Philia has another one.
I don't think she does.
There
No, she
was
probably
another pearl. There was another pearl that we got sometime.
I don't think there was. I think it was just you that managed to swindle one.
Nope, there was definitely another pearl worth 100 gold pieces because I was super mad that it was given to us when I just went through like a whole thing to get it.
I believe so. I can take a look anyway.
Distinctly remember. And
but
plus I've been watching back.
This is what you get from identifying the dagger.
What do you mean hidden trait?
There are aspects of this dagger that are hidden from you. The spell does not reveal them, just that they are hidden.
Ooh, mysterious.
The only thing you can tell is that it is a +1 weapon.
Ooh.
Ooh. I like those. Do I have to do any do I have to like attune to it or anything?
To use its +1 value, you don't. And you'd have to figure out the hidden traits before you could use those anyway. So no, you could just wield it.
Oh wow. Okay. I'll have that on me.
Alright, so you...
Oh yeah, and just to let you know, for the walk home, I prepared create water and food if we ever need something.
The land should provide us plenty, but we are going to have a lot of mouths to feed, so that'd be useful. I'll head to the tower.
Yeah, I just realized you guys are going to be late because you woke up late.
Yeah, no. Like Darren at 9 o'clock.
Anyone ever runs out of water, I
Crimson
can
will go with Daranu to the tower.
help with that.
Okay. So you would get to the tower. You would just see Iara leaning against the tower. She says there were no more Chaur slaves. You had freed them all.
Oh, wonderful.
Cool.
As well as some of their slaves, apparently, she says. I guess some of the ones in the ranks of those you freed were their slaves as well.
And Orcard won't mind me heading to the cave to do an inventory of the slaves that he's got left.
She says, "Oh, I don't think that's a good idea. None of his people know that you're allied. The alliance is in secret," she says. "But if you're really that worried about it, I guess I could try to sneak you in at some point."
So, Orcard's arranged a truce but hasn't told his soldiers not to attack us.
She says, "No,
didn't we also do that?"
She says the truce was made in secret because he wants to save face with his people. So the decision to leave is going to be his, not because he, made this truce." So,
Daranu, do you want me to go in and look?
She says,
"No, I'm done."
You're done?
I'm done.
Okay.
She says, she would say, "I don't think he mentioned that he was going to let you have free reign to walk around the caves and everything. But if you want, I can speak with him and maybe get someone in there secretly."
No, he called a truce, but that truce is meaningless.
Why do you say that?
Daranu.
Because nobody knows it's a fucking truce. If his soldiers don't know...
Daranu, what matters the most is that we have whatever truce is available. We'll come back in a week. If they're still here, we'll resume our attack.
She says, also, he wanted me to tell you that there are a couple of ruins in the cave that their people didn't go in because of dangers, and he wanted me to let you know where they were, as you might be able to find valuable ancient artifacts within them, as he put it.
Now,
I know about
I did see a sign that says "Do not enter." Is that one of them?
She says, yes, that is one of them. There's also a dig site that we burrowed into that had a strange dark miasma coming from it. So we left that alone.
Oh.
As one of the digging team, unfortunately, was caught in it and was withered to bones.
That's cool.
Wild. What kind of miasma?
It looked like smoke, but it was dark instead of gray.
Hmm.
It was very odd, she says. Nothing, yeah. Luckily, I was one of the people on up outside of the hole they dug into, so I just saw the poor miner get consumed by it. It then shrunk away back into the shadows below.
I wonder what would cause that.
I don't know, but I'm guessing there could be treasures there. Not really my area of expertise. I'm more specialized in killing the proper living, not the strange magical living or undead.
Yes, and I'm usually better at, ordering things by alphabetical.
So I assume you're talking as you are leaving the area.
Yep.
And she says, but yeah, if you, I'm sorry if you feel like you've been tricked, Duranu, but if you wish, I can try to get you access to the current prisoners so you can double check.
If instead of us bringing Shafe back or Aora back here, can we, me or whoever, stay? Can I stay here or somewhere? Actually, I'd probably stay here. With
You can't
her.
stay where?
Over here. And then you guys go to the thing, because I don't really want her knowing where the base is.
Why?
Because he's still got a week, and we might need to use the base if he doesn't leave, and if she finds out where it is, we're kind of screwed.
Are you kind of pulling everyone off to the side to say this?
No, because I'm guessing she knows we've moved base.
So,
yeah.
She says, I'm sort of a free agent now. There's no reason I guess you don't know for sure that I'm being honest, but if you show me where your new base is, I'm under no obligation to tell Orcard. I mean, I didn't tell him where your first base was.
Quentin, I assume you can get back to Chaur?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, you want me to go with her solo? Alright, we'll go.
No,
What?
you and our friends can head back.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna wait here.
Why?
I have no reason to go back to Chaur. You guys,
Just come a little closer to town.
you guys can go rest. It makes no difference if I'm on the outskirts of town or here.
Well, I think we would feel more comfortable, Jaranu, to have you with us while we're walking, the 3 days in the forest back to Chaur. I mean,
You can't get lost in the forest, and I can.
Yeah, we do need you to help us navigate.
How do you all plan to kill Blackwater? Just as a point of curiosity.
Not a clue. Not a clue.
No idea. We'll figure it out.
Because I might be able to help you with that. It's kind of what I do. Yeah, do it live. She says, just.
I thought you were talking as the DM.
I was talking as Iara.
I realize that now, but when you first said that,
We don't share our plans with the DM.
Kill Blackwater?
No, the DM has no investment in how you kill Blackwater. So I wouldn't ask you. Shaith, however, Iara, however, is very curious.
Besides, Daranu, Fluffy will want to get his belly scratched by Karen. And you can't stay here with Fluffy there, so just come closer, then you can come back if you want.
I can stay here. Fluffy goes where Fluffy wants.
Daranu, we need you.
So out of game, if Duranu stays here, he's probably not. Well, I'm assuming the party's going to stay in Chaur for a bit, right?
Yes.
So I'm not sure what he would do in terms of gameplay.
Absolutely fuck all.
Yeah. So
For
I
the
don't
next 7
know.
days.
I don't know if the group stays in Char. I mean, I guess you could play like an alternate character or something, but I don't know how much fun that would be for you.
It's fine. The party can go do whatever the party wants to do in Char. Like, if it's a session of me doing fuck all, then it's a session of me doing fuck all. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, Daranu, you're coming with us. We need
No.
you to help us get us back to Char. Okay?
Quentin can do it.
No, he can't. It's Quentin.
Oh, is his name
That's
Quentin? So it's not Kinky Druid. That's good to know.
Quentin, how's the weather tomorrow?
Druidcraft. It's going to thunderstorm.
Partially cloudy skies. You just kind of shy
Good
away.
chance of meatballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Like, Daranu, you are our best hope of getting back. As a reminder, we have several, tens of ex-slaves that we need to get back to Char as well?
We have 24 slaves.
There you go.
We have 24 soldiers.
24
They're not slaves.
soldiers, ex-slaves.
People.
We need help, okay? People.
Well,
We need
then you can choose.
Daranu,
You can
You're
choose to
not
take them back, or you can choose to stay. But I'm staying.
Oh.
you are not staying.
So just let him stay. Yeah, I mean,
No.
it sounds like his mind is made up.
You
You
guys
know.
can stay too.
Iara says, if you all are staying, maybe I could have you come into the mines and take a look at those ruins. She shrugs. She says,
like
if you're
ruins.
staying anyway, maybe you'll find something there.
We
Well,
can't
it
go
sounds
into the
like we're
mine and look at those ruins because there is no truth.
She says, well,
Sounds like we're staying.
interesting point, though. If we bring you in maybe as some sort of archaeologists or mercenaries working for the Iron Tide, we could spin that into something that would let you come inside. I don't think anyone... you've killed everyone you've encountered, right? No one knows what you
No.
look
No.
like.
No, and Iron Shadow
Except
got
for
away.
me.
And Iron
Mm.
Shadow got away. We've just given them back 2 prisoners. Aaron is just going to sit in the mountains for like 7 days because there is no truce.
She
Yeah, I
thinks
don't
for
think
a
it's a
moment.
good idea.
The soldiers aren't going to attack you unless they get the order from their commander. That's how our
No,
mercenaries company work.
They'll attack us on site as they have been doing.
She says,
I don't
tell
think
me...
it's a good idea
Tell
to-
me
to
more
have
about
talk.
these 3 people who have seen you, she says.
Why?
Oh, no reason.
Exactly, no reason. A dagger will find their backs. Not necessary. I will wait 7 days. I'll see the Iron Tide leave. I'll go home. That's it.
I
But
already
there
Well,
is
just...
no
I guess we can't go either.
You can stay if you wish. But
Quentin
without
wild
us,
shaped
I'm not leaving.
Quentin wild shaped
Well,
into
I
a
don't-
direwolf and run off.
I
So
don't
that
wish
wait.
to-
But... now,
I don't wish to stay, Daranu, but unfortunately you're forcing us to stay.
I don't want to stay either, but there's no fucking truth. Orcard just lied to us and said there was a fucking truth, but he's not told anyone. So,
But
I'm going to camp out.
it would,
7 days.
but also it would not be like in
It's-
his best interest to break his
There-
word to us because he doesn't have the dagger.
Daranu, this is a political move, okay? He's trying to save face with his people.
Mm-hmm.
Alright?
Then his people won't see me.
Well,
I'll just be here. It's fine.
Alright.
It makes no difference if I go sit a day outside of Char or if I sit 3 days outside of Char.
Iara would say, Karen, maybe we should let him stay a bit and just give him the peace of mind. And we can...
The
yeah.
issue is that he's the one who knows how to get back to Char.
I thought he said the... Oh, where did that guy go? She's looking
Yeah, the
around.
druid.
Exactly. Where did he go? He doesn't know how to get back to Char.
Fluffy, go kill Quentin.
Rawr. Are you actually sending Fluffy after Quentin?
Yes, he's not going to try and kill him, but he's going
Alright.
to go after Quentin.
All right. So yeah, I mean, at this point, yeah. What does the group want to do? I guess, or are you, Quentin? Are you wanting to take everyone home? Are you trying to just wait for Quentin or Duranu to agree to go home?
I'm waiting for Daranu to get off his ass.
Where
Just
did
7 days of downtime then.
I mean, I can just try to pass 7 days. The people in your camp might get a little restless because nothing's happening. But I mean, if that's what you all want to do, because there is a truce, it's not like they're looking for you. You just have to. Yeah.
Plus, dear Mr. Grumpy, you agreed to teach me Goblin.
Well,
I did.
we could just stay here for 7 days, like he said. Where did Quentin go anyway?
Quentin wild shaped into a direwolf and ran off because, with Darrenu's logic of I can lead them back if I'm not there, he has to lead them back.
That's
so Quentin's
fair.
running to Chaur.
Quentin's so going to get fucking lost.
Why don't we take a 10-minute break and you guys can talk about it? I mean, I know we're kind of close to the end anyway, but it seems like you all have to discuss a few things.
Yeah, actually, guys, I have to leave a little bit early today, so whatever you decide, I'll go with it. Is that's cool?
Yeah, that's fine. If you gotta leave early, no worries.
Yeah, sorry, I'll see you next week. But yeah, let me know what you guys decide.
All right, so you're stepping out now.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, I'm
Sorry.
gonna grab a drink, but yeah, the rest of you, I'll be back in a little bit.
All right. See
So,
you later.
so yeah,
Okay,
there's
see ya.
no longer any time restraint on what we're doing, so we can just stay here and skip 7 days. Because skipping 7 days is just skipping 7 days. Doesn't actually make much of a difference.
I was about to say, I have a spell that can let me see certain point. Well, okay, it's a mile of range. That's too bad. I can see 1 mile into a distance, but that takes a very expensive focus. But now I realize that it's limited range.
Yeah. But realistically, a truce doesn't fucking exist if the soldiers don't know about it.
The issue is that Quentin's run off.
Yeah.
So we don't have any way to get back to Chaur without Daranu.
Then you can wait 7 days. Because it makes no difference.
Then I guess we're waiting, but as a point, the soldiers are gonna get anxious.
And the people probably want to go
our
home.
soldiers, and they probably want to go home. We were discussing about having our own private militia. If we want to do that, then we probably need to get them back to Chaur sooner rather than later.
Darnu doesn't want a private militia. Darnu doesn't give us, yeah. That was, I believe, a joke from Quentin. I don't think we actually want a private militia.
I wasn't genuinely serious about a private militia.
Okay.
I have nothing against staying here for another few days, but I do believe that these people should get back home as soon as possible.
Karen's not thrilled to continue camping.
Sure, we will all just go back to Chaur then. Cool.
How long does the trip
Decision's made. We'll go back to Chaur.
But if you
whatever.
really, Darren, if you really need to stay, then we can stay the week.
No, we'll just go back to Chaur.
How long does the trip back to Chaur take?
3 days.
3 days.
Oh, then we could be back before the week is over and observe again.
We'll just go back to Chaur. It's cool. Whatever.
Yeah, go back and return immediately, and then they still have a day left to leave, and then we can be sure that they are gone.
I mean, Daranu, if you can get us back, and then you can probably head back to the Iron Tide camp without like twice as fast as what we could do.
Oh yeah, because it's going to take them a week anyway. If you got them back, then headed back, that's basically the week traveling anyway. So you're not any better or worse off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's just more walking. And I mean it means that you're there with us to help us defend ourselves while we're traveling through arguably your favorite terrain.
It's mostly playing back to Chaur.
And yeah, well,
No,
we don't know
it's already decided anyway. We'll just go back to Chaur. Cool. Dealt with.
Okay. Like do you see what I'm coming from?
No, there'll be no rule on the matter.
Are you mad at me?
No.
All right.
All right, I'm back. What's going on?
We're all heading back to Chaur.
And then probably immediately return because then the week isn't over yet, so we can still see if they actually leave in time.
I just cast Formaturgy and just shout, Quentin, get back here before I shoot you. And then we'll all head back to Chaur.
I'm still running, so I don't know how far I've got in this whole conversation event so far.
I've got Formaturgy and I can shoot really far. You can't outrun an arrow. Just come back.
Right?
Just come back. Problems dealt with. We'll just go back to Chaur.
You gotta go get everyone anyway.
You either come back or an angry dragon chases you down. Either way.
Quentin will keep running so the angry dragon comes.
How fast are you?
In my direwolf form, I basically movement and action. Well, it's 50 feet. It's 50 feet per 6 seconds. So I'm moving at 1,000 feet a minute. So if I use my action and bonus action,
Faster than Fluffy. Cool.
I'm actually working it out.
The journey back to Chaur. Let's go.
All right, DM, we're heading back to Chaur. All of us.
DM?
Oh, I was muted. Sorry. I guess you didn't hear what I said then. I said you head back to the camp. Shock is there to meet you. IR is going to stay out for now because, the camp doesn't know her. He says, you say we're heading back to Chaur. He says,
yes, we've all got to take. Where's Johnson? Johnson wants to go home. We need to take Johnson home.
He says, well, I can get everyone ready to go if we're all done here. Shaith nods. She says, it would be good to get back.
Oh, and by the way, should it ever be needed, I am currently able to create food or water twice a day.
Oh, that
Should
could
we ever
come.
run out.
That could come in handy. How many can you feed?
Well, let me see.
Right, food and water is 10 people.
45 pounds of food and 30 gallons of water.
If you've got
Enough to sustain up to 15 humanoids or 5 steeds for 24 hours. So I could feed everyone.
Yeah.
If we don't find anything to eat or any water to drink, I can help with that.
Well,
but
I think from the barrels. Go ahead.
I would recommend finding regular food because the stuff that is made by magic doesn't taste that great, as I'm told. It's you can. It's
I
more
can
about survival instead of living, really.
Patchwork's
both.
paste dispenser.
Well, I'm trying to help.
I can both hunt and get food at the same time.
Yes, what I'm saying, that's probably better for you all because
Well,
yeah.
it's
We
tastier.
we still have those rations that you all drug back here in the barrels, so we have a good amount of food. We should be okay.
Yeah, I was just mentioning this in case of emergency.
He says, "All right, well, if you're all ready, we can leave right now." Oh wait, where's Quentin? He looks around.
God knows.
Is
There's a dragon case and it's fine.
Says, "All right, well, hopefully, should we wait for him to come back, or is he gonna follow?"
He'll probably meet us on the way.
He'll find us eventually. DM, I don't know if you got my message, but I'd like to cast an alarm spell on the dagger. Ritually.
I don't know if you. Well, can you put it on objects? I think you have to place it on areas, so I don't know if you can alarm just the dagger. I mean, you could link the spell. I could take a look, but that's just my memory. Let me see.
Whoops.
Yeah, so it looks like it's an area spell, not necessarily on a certain item.
I thought the box that the dagger was in was alarmed. In the caravan.
That's what was told to you, but you don't know if that was true. Because yeah, the alarm spell generally is an area, not necessarily a box or an item. There may have been some other scrying spell someone was using to watch the box, or maybe some other spell effect.
Okay.
But yeah, so you can only put it on a place. All right.
In that case, I'm gonna hide it on my person.
Okay. Put it. So if you want to use it during battle, you would have to keep it on your belt. That's the only thing. Because if you put it stow it in your backpack somewhere, it would take time to get it out.
I just don't want to. I just want to put it. I just want to put it somewhere where it won't get easily pickpocket.
Bag of holding's fine for now. If
Yeah.
we're not gonna get any bites.
If you don't, if you're okay not fighting with it, yeah, you could put it in the bag of holding.
Then it's just an action to get out.
It's again. I don't want the bag of holding being stolen then.
Well, you can't know everything, Karen. Maybe it gets stolen, maybe it doesn't.
I'll stick it into the bag of holding, and then I'll tuck the bag of holding under my boob.
Oh my! All right.
The bra pocket.
The forbidden area, I guess. All right, sure. You hide it on yourself, making it harder to pickpocket. I mean, you're a spy type person, so you probably know how to do that. All right. Yeah. So the journey to Chaur is probably going to be about 3 days. Who is going to be the leader of the journey, the Pathfinder?
That would be me.
Right.
And I guess Quentin, who's off on his own.
So up to 2 people can do this, working together. Since Quentin's not... Here, go ahead.
I might be able to help. I'm not trained in survival, but I have...
wisdom.
Good wisdom, yeah.
Alright, so the 2 of you give me a roll, and I'm guessing Quentin might catch up later.
I run ahead.
Heck yeah.
I run ahead, technically.
Woohoo!
Oh, are you heading back to Chaur?
I ran ahead because that way Darren would have to come because he'd have to lead everybody back. Anyway, that was the plan. In my direwolf form, roughly I'm covering 11 miles an hour. My direwolf form. 11 miles
2 things. Direwolf only lasts an hour per cast.
2 hours.
Or 2 hours per shapeshift. And the other thing is, you don't generally travel at full speed when you travel overland, because or else you just get really tired. You're generally walking, because you have to walk all day. So you're probably not just running constantly, or else you just get tired out and have to rest as much as you would if you were walking.
Well, I'm going to 4 hours running, then I'm going to short rest. 4 hours running, short rest. So would that? Anyway, either way.
So you can definitely. Or go ahead.
No, I was just going to say because I'm going to short rest for the direwolf form to do it, and then.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely go further than they can because you have a higher speed. But you couldn't just be running the whole time. I think overland movement, and I would need a separate check from you if you're not going with the party. So always have
It's
to
fine.
split up.
Everyone's just going to become lost. It's all good, don't it?
Direwolf.
Well, not us. I rolled a 22.
You did roll a 22.
Patchwork is
Yep.
on it. I mean, honestly, to find the path isn't that hard because it's
Yeah.
just mostly over plains. But
Yeah.
okay,
I
yeah,
think
so you're
wisdom
fine.
and patchwork has a connection to nature, so. Yeah.
I mean, the DC is like a 5, but the better you roll, the quicker you move through. So the trip to Chaur is gonna take
I'm
you.
just talking. I'm
Yeah.
just talking to Aera about the Dewey Decibel system.
All right. Well, I was gonna say the trip takes. It's probably gonna take Quentin less time. Quentin, it would probably take 2 days to get back, so spend 2 days worth of food, Quentin.
I'd have gone hunting, so that would be level check.
Can you hunt and navigate in the plains? Because I can't even hunt and navigate in the plains.
I don't know.
I mean, you can. It just might slow you down a bit if you're taking time to hunt.
No, I'll eat my rations. It's fine. I'll eat my rations. Okay, I'll do that.
Alright, so yeah, you spend 2 days of rations. The other party will be like 2.5 days, so go ahead and spend 2 days worth of rations. But you do make it. It's a pretty easy trip now that you've taken care of most of the Iron Tide, and they're not harrying the roads anymore.
I'll just good bury it.
Alright, so the group.
I'll steal a good berry from Daranu.
That's fine. The group enters town. Let's see. Quentin gets here first. Let me see the daily thing. So 2 days pass. It is the 22nd of fall at 9 a.m. Quentin, you're the first to arrive here. What are you doing?
Well, does anyone react to a direwolf come running to the door?
Oh, are you going in direwolf form?
Well, I'm gonna come running upstairs. So it's like, do I see anyone react to being direwolf?
The gate is closed and a bunch of people are pointing crossbows down at you. If you approach the gate in dire wolf form, they do start shooting at you.
I'll get to the point where I see them with arrows and I drop the form.
Give me an initiative roll.
Oh,
That's cool.
Quentin gets killed by 7 heavy crossbow shots as he gets back to town.
Yeah, like, oh god, Quentin, no. Luckily, you do act before them, so as you come running up and they're like, wolf! And they're all like yelling and aiming their crossbows. You're like, whoa, whoa, whoa! And you kind of poof back into your own form, and they're like, who's there? What magic is this?
Me, you fucking morons! Open the bloody door!
Who is that? Identify yourself.
I'm gonna do Radiant Soul and just fly the fuck over.
This is how you get shot.
They all have crossbows pointed at you. Are you sure you want to do this?
No, I'll walk up because people are boring and annoying and ruin my plan.
Why won't you just let me into your town, jerks? All right.
Yeah.
So as you get closer, they're like, "Oh, it's the hero, Quentin. Is that you?"
Yes, you dumb. Honest to God, how the fuck did none of you die?
They have the wall.
We're sorry about that. It's just.
Let's shut up and open the gate. I really am not in the mood.
Give me a persuasion check with advantage and disadvantage. So I guess just a roll. All right. Yes, we're opening the gate. And guard walks out. He says, "What happened to the rest of you? Is everything all right?"
Yeah, no, it's fine. They're coming. I just was faster.
Oh,
Oh, I was so happy you told them we were all dead, because that would have been funnier.
well,
It's
welcome.
tempting, but I'm aware what Quentin's like.
He says, "Well, welcome back to town. Any word on the Iron Tide? Or I guess he wouldn't say Iron Tide. Any word on the bandits? Were you able to figure out what was going on with them? We haven't heard any. We haven't been attacked, and we haven't heard anything for quite some time."
Let's do this. 5 or lower, I tell the truth. 5 or higher, I lie. Tell the truth. No, it's kind of alright. Like, it's kind of there's a agreement.
An agreement? What do you
Yeah.
mean?
I'm not good at talking to people. No, hang on, wait. What's the thing?
He says, "You seem tired. It's all right. You don't have to tell us. Just go get some rest."
Karen and Darren have said I have to do something when people ask me questions, and what was that? Was it? Druid crafts predict the weather.
Oh no.
Partly sunny with a chance of showers later. Like what?
There we
Okay,
are.
bye.
Bye.
All right. So where are you going in town?
I want to text. How tired am I?
I mean, you probably camped the night. It's not like you ran here, straight. So you're probably feeling fine.
All right.
Generally, in
Okay.
the wild, like a direwolf. Well, I guess you couldn't stay direwolf form all night, but yeah, you kind of know how to survive in nature.
I'd have cave beared my last form and dug a hole and slept in the hole under the ground.
Yeah, well, you know how to survive in nature, so you're probably fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're feeling fine.
Okay, cool. I have no idea how far. So do I want to do it now or do I want to hold off? No, sorry, we'll do it now. I'm going to head to this forest here and I'm going to start casting plant growth, but as the ritual so that it works for the hang on. For the 8 hours.
The 8 hour plant growth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just enrich the land in a mile radius to double all crop harvests.
Yeah.
All right. So you're doing some plant growth to help the local farms. Got it. Meanwhile, on the road, Iara is going to approach Kai actually, and she would ask you, "Are you a druid as well?"
Yes, I am.
He says, "I had noticed some of your symbols. I was just curious. There's not too many druids in the deep, so it's one of the groups of people I'm always fascinated to learn more about. Do you know Duran, or do you know Quentin?"
The kinky druid?
"Yes, that one." She smiles.
Not overly well.
Oh. Thought you all had groves or something that you all were part of.
No, I'm more of a loner, so I don't really know him that well. I've only just met him.
She says,
Seems a
"You're
bit of a dick.
sorry, seems like what?"
A bit of a dick.
She smiles and says, "Well, he does seem a bit odd. And you are a tiefling, yes?"
Yes. Obviously.
She nods and says, "How do you feel about the humans in this empire? I know I encounter a lot of pushback because of my heritage. Do you have any?"
I don't really care for other people's opinions. So, if they don't like me, they don't like me. But essentially,
Have you?
Go on.
She says, "Have you found that they were more or less accepting of your bloodline?"
To be honest, I don't know what my bloodline is because, like I said, not really. I've just been stuck in the forest for many years, and then I was a slave, and then I don't really have that many social interactions with people, so I don't really know how they take me. but consider the fact we're going for it into a town, we'll soon find out.
She says, I'm always curious about those type of things. I know I myself run into a lot of prejudice whenever I come to the surface, so just curious what it was like for someone like you.
I don't remember a time where I was with a large group of people. So, they may have been, but I was too naive to understand their emotions towards me. So, but again, I don't care for most people.
Well, this should be an interesting experience for you then, if you're going to stay with these people.
We'll see where it takes us. I might get bored and just wander off for a bit.
She nods and says, I generally just go where the coin is, but hopefully we'll get to work together some.
Potentially. I just go where my whim takes me, essentially.
And she nods.
What's more exciting?
Is anyone else going to have any conversations on the road?
Not until we get back to Chaur.
Alright, so things are mostly quiet. You would arrive a little bit later in the day, probably around afternoon time. So it's the 22nd, probably at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. As you approach the gates, the soldiers would at first be a little bit jumpy, but then they'd recognize you. Like, the heroes return! Open the gates! And you would be allowed in.
They're opening the gates to an armed militia walking on them. Road. Cool. Patchwork.
Do you tell them not to?
No, I don't. They can open the gates to an armed militia, that's fine. Would you stable my horse for me?
Sure.
No, throw Patchwork my coin purse. Darren, make sure that one doesn't get into any trouble. And point at Fluffy. I'm gonna go build a house.
Have fun. Thank you for coming back with us. I really do appreciate it.
I know this place was really hard to find. Patchwork did all of the work.
I did?
Most of it, yeah.
Huh.
But you found the road and then you walked down it. You did an excellent job.
Huh. Who would have thought? Well. Is there an inn?
So yeah, the group has arrived back in town. There are a couple of inns. As you enter the town, the citizens recognize you because we're pretty popular around here, and they're going to start asking you about what happened out there and what's going on with the bandits. Because things have been quiet and everyone's kind of tense. Do you want to ignore them? Do you want to interact with them? Like brush them off? Just what do you want to do?
I think Karen will just like she did the first time around, just graciously just say like, oh, thank you for your curiosity. Like, we just got back. We're really, really tired. We're, hoping, we're hoping things will quiet down now.
Give me a persuasion with advantage.
Oops.
So they nod. A couple of people like the heroes need rest. Everyone, leave them be. And like a couple of the townspeople are like ushering people away from you to give you some room. I assume you're heading to one of the inns to rest?
Oh yeah, I have to put this horse somewhere.
Shock would say, I'm going to go check on Mel, but I'll see you at the Darkwater, or are you going to the Maplewood?
Nope, we'll see you at the Darkwater.
He nods. And you notice Shaith has already slipped off. You're not sure where she went.
That's Shaith.
Do I still have my dagger?
You do. It's still under your boob. It's very uncomfortable, actually. Like, damn it. Under your leather armor. You're like, no, it's definitely still there. And get
it's in the bag of holding that's in my bra.
I assume that would still be uncomfortable. I don't know. I'm not a lady, so I don't know what that would feel like. But yeah, as you're.
Well, a bag is not as uncomfortable as a dagger would be.
Oh yeah, well for sure.
Yeah, just one boob might be bigger than the other.
Fair enough. So as you're walking through the streets, and I know we're at time, but as you're going through the marketplace, a familiar figure will approach you all.
Is it Neil?
He said, yes, it is Neil. He says, I heard the heroes were back in town, though I heard it was just the wolf.
Ah, so he made it too. Oh, that's good.
And this is where we'll pause, because, yeah, it's a little bit over.
Just a quick question. What time did I start doing plant growth? Just so I know what time I'm finishing.
Oh, we'll say like 9:30 a.m. So you can write that under extended effects. But yeah, go ahead and... Wait, did Kai just become a cat? What's going on?
Yeah. Kai had a panic attack walking into it and turned to a cat.
Oh god! And just
Too
ran
many
away.
people at once. Yeah.
Alright, yeah, give me...
So if Kai wants to stay out of Chaur, Kai can.
Yeah, that would make sense. But yeah, go ahead and give me MVP votes and we'll wrap here. MVP. Oh, just in case anyone doesn't remember, it is this for the command. Alright, I got 4 votes. Oh, it's kind of a split vote today. I think so far everyone's voted for a different person.
Oh.
Oh, we got 1 vote for 2. And who am I missing? I think I just need Kai. Oh, wait, I got Kai. Who am I missing?
You're missing Shan, but Shan, of course, can't do it.
Oh, you're right. Shan left. All right, so I'm just going to use this then. So with these 5 votes, Karen, you are MVP.
Oh,
Congrats.
Take that inspiration.
Yeah, well done on the negotiations there. There was a lot of good
Yeah,
argument.
it was great.
I need it.
You do need it, but you didn't offer to buy the slaves.
I still have 3 inspirations.
I did offer to buy the slaves. I offered to buy the slaves a couple times, and they just he was just like, no, we need them.
I don't think you offered gold for them, though.
I did.
Was it you offered
5 silver?
I offered what we'd agreed to.
Oh,
I mean,
I missed that bit. I missed that bit. That's fine.
Yeah, I offered what we agreed to. They, like I said, I figured I was gonna hit a wall there, and he needed the bodies more than he needed the so.
Yeah.
Well, good game. I'll be here for a bit taking notes, but you're welcome to hang out or take off, whatever you wish.
Mm-hmm. I think we're lucky with what we got. I mean, considering that.
Well, the alternative is we just take out his fucking food supply.
No, I agree. I didn't want to make threats quite so soon.
You didn't make any threats. You did very well negotiating.
Thank you. Because threats don't get us anywhere. Threats just make people mad.
Mm.
And defensive. We don't want people defensive. That's why I was apologizing, so that we can kind of like.
That was a very heavy RP session. Yeah, we didn't do any combat. It was just all discussions.
Oh,
Hopefully that
so
was fun
nice.
for everyone.
It's fun.
It was lovely.
I enjoy those type of games, but I know not everyone does.
I think, personally, I was kind of getting tired of all the combat.
It's true. We did have a lot of fighting.
I
That's all
prefer
we've been
combat because I'm still not I'm still getting into the RPG.
Yeah.
But today it worked for me. I don't know.
No,
well,
it was easier to just do it, to just say something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the more you do it, the easier it gets. And I think there was an investment in the story, so you want to see things work out. So it was probably fun for that reason too. But I don't know.
I thought hey, new friends, and then no.
You have no idea how happy I was to hear that Orchard wanted to just negotiate and get this over with. No offense, but I was kind of getting tired of fighting hobgoblins.
No, that's
Well,
fine.
what
You go ahead.
Yeah.
Like, just as a point, like, we may as well just say, like, Darren and Karen already had a fucking plan just to go and negotiate.
Yeah, we
Just
totally
like-
did.
We were just like, yeah, we're just gonna
If-
go and
if-
fucking talk to them.
If Orchard didn't come and talk to us, we would have gone to him without the party knowing.
Well,
Which would have been more threats.
you did a lot of
Yeah.
work to lay the ground to like make it so that it was becoming hard for him to keep his people in line. So he didn't want to risk a rebellion. So
Yeah.
the spy
Right.
work definitely helped with that. Made it easier for a lot of your demands.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
You mean I didn't just hang out in a cave for 3 days
No, you did a lot of good work in
for no
there.
reason? For no reason.
Getting yourself captured was a little unexpected, but you know.
That was my impatience.
Yeah, I figured.
I was getting bored. But that's just me. That was my fault. That was my stupidity.
But
No, I'm kind of excited to get into more character stuff actually. Like, you know, trying to figure out, like, I want to go before we kill Blackwater, I want to go do some research into druid groves for Quinton. And possibly Kai. Like, I want to do, like, again, just go and do some more research on stuff.
Mm-hmm. Quentin
Darren
said
will-
something. Quentin said something weird, and Patrick is kind of curious what he meant.
Yeah, I know. Quinton's teasing it out purposely.
Yeah.
No, and I want to do some, like, research for Patchwork and possibly do some for Daranu.
Oh, Darren is just gonna stay outside the city, and then he's gonna start building a house.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going back into Chaur. That's just way too much effort for Darren. So he's just gonna chill in the forest outside
Well,
of
like-
Chaur and build a house.
Like, now that we're back in Chaur, like, you can go back to the Iron Tide if you want.
No, that's pointless
Why?
because they would have had 6 days to do whatever they want.
They had 2 days to do whatever they want. 2.5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the time we're back, it's 5 days.
Yeah. So then you can hang out, watch them, make sure they actually leave for that 7-day mark, and then go back to Chaur. Like, the only reason why I wanted you to come with us was so that someone would be able to lead us back to Chaur.
Yeah, both
And so that
Quentin
if
and Patchwork can
anything-
do that.
Well,
There's no benefit from me doing it because it's all plains. I can get lost in plains.
we I also wasn't sure if the DM was going to roll a random encounter while we were there.
Oh, for the trip back?
Yeah.
You guys, I mean, at this level, you're pretty tough. There's not much in the wilds that would pose a threat. Most things would just ignore you, especially in a group
Well, I
that
didn't-
big. But yeah,
I don't know that.
it's always
I
possible.
I was concerned. I was concerned that we were going to get into some random encounter where we're going to have to, like, try to protect, like, 24 soldiers.
24 armed and ready people.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
they're soldiers, so I mean, well, they're not soldiers, but they're
They're
armed. So
farmers.
most things
Half of
aren't
them are
gonna.
farmers.
Yeah, but most things don't know that, and they aren't going to want to mess with a group that large, especially animals and bandits too.
I don't
Like,
know,
if you see that big a group, you're not just gonna like try to fight them.
I was concerned.
I mean, that's fair.
Either way.
I
If
do
my
wanna-
concerns were not warranted, then that's okay. But at least, at least we proceeded safely rather than just assume.
It's fine, it didn't matter. But just as a point I do want to make, fucking Patchwork and Shan, great fucking roleplay from you two today.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Did
Shan's not
enjoy
here.
it.
Well, Shan isn't here, but
I
yeah.
know Shan's not here, but
Yeah,
I want
write
to
in
point
the-
it out.
in the chat. Let's write in the chat for him.
You write in the chat, yeah.
I don't know. Probably shouldn't have made a character that's this stubborn.
Patchwork,
Because-
and
Patchwork
Patchwork,
really
you did
likes
a
Shan.
really, you did
Like,
a really
if-
good job today.
Oh, thank you. If the group splits up, Patchwork will be. It will be hard for her to choose between, like, Quentin and Shan. Like who she will go with. Like if the group split up because of like working with the Iron Tide.
Shan just follows the money, so just pay more.
But Shan seems to have similar values and like a similar perspective.
All right. Just
Yeah.
making sure I get some notes on some of these
So
outcomes.
Kai,
Yeah.
the deal with the rat is, Karen spent 3 days in the Irontide mine camp. During that time, she tried to start a rebellion too soon, mostly because I got bored, and ended up getting captured. While she was captured, again, this is like as someone else, like this was as like Klimtok, the hobgoblin. While she was waiting in prison, this rat came, acting weirdly intelligent, spelt out friend in the dirt, and then gave her a key to the slave cage, like to the cage that she was in. So
Kai
That's
already
why
knows it. It was Kai.
Oh yeah, I was thinking, is it me?
yeah.
No. It would be
So
so
that's-
fucking cool if it was actually Kai.
Oh my god, that'd be so funny. So I've been panicking and trying to like
Kai secretly
Karen-
is just messing with the hobgoblins. He could have escaped at any time. He's just been running around their cave as a rat.
That would be
Yeah,
fucking
Karen,
hilarious.
I'm just gonna take him.
Karen in character thought it was Quentin, and so she's like, "Quentin, what are you doing here?" Like talking to this rat as if it was Quentin. Me fully well knowing that it's clearly not.
Quentin, I
But-
didn't see the spell you cast in extended effects. Did you put it in the sheet, or where'd you put it?
No, I haven't written it on there yet. I've written it
Okay.
on my notes, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, it takes 8 hours to cast, so him casting it is 8 hours, which is
Alright.
About half mine. I've written it down somewhere. I've got it written in my notebook. I'm just not with my notebook at the minute.
Oh, on the journey back, because Kai's got to have some questions from that negotiation.